It is a homecoming night for the Antonian Apaches as they welcome the Lee Volunteers to their home field right here tonight on a live Friday night broadcast brought to you by Texas Sports Productions and presented by the Lynn Company. Tonight, the Antonian Apaches will take on the Lee Volunteers. I'm Jay Riley, and we kind of did this a little differently tonight. The color guy brings in the broadcast, but Stu Paul is joining me in the booth tonight, and it's been a while since Stu and I have worked together. He's a consummate professional, and we're looking forward to one heck of a night here at the Antonian Apache Stadium. Stu?
First of all, Jay,
what's it like to be back in the booth, buddy?
It's great to be again. You know, I also do other sports too, but good to be back out on the gridiron. And we have a couple of pretty good quarterbacks going tonight. Khalil Warfield for Antonian, William Seabold for Lee, and it's a pretty good crowd assembling here on this Friday night in the Antonian field. It's good to work with you again. I know you also do work for UTSA football. You see some of the fans here. Very enthusiastic crowd indeed. In fact, anytime you do a Friday night game, it's always enthusiastic, especially when you know with the state of Texas, football is king.
Well, right now, the Lee Volunteers are coming out on the field, and they're all excited. Why don't we take a look at these two teams, what they've done so far this season. And as you can see there, the Lee Volunteers come in tonight 1-1. The Antonian Apaches 2-0.
By the way, Antonian coming off a 28 win over Sam Houston, and Lee won a squeaker, by the way, 30-27 on Brockridge, and they're just about even, although Antonian with a stronger running attack, almost twice as many yards compared to Lee. And of course, you got to look at their quarterback, Khalil Warfield, and even Chance Felix, who's also done a pretty good job in the backfield along with Warfield. One of the reasons why they have a pretty good rushing attack.
Yeah, Khalil Warfield is the real deal. They've got a defensive lineman already committed, verbally committed to the University of Colorado, so he's obviously the real deal as well. The Lee Volunteers and the Antonian Apaches coming in here tonight off a victory last week, but maybe a little more incentive for the Apaches tonight because it is their homecoming. We're going to take a break and come back with the national anthem. The Antonian Apaches have won the toss. They will receive when we come back right after this. You're watching and listening to Antonian Apache football on TexasSportsProductions.com.
Hi folks, Joel Dolly here with the Mission Open Air Market. Our 2-year expansion plan's over. The Mission Open Air Market has added acres and acres of free parking and the best bargains in all of Texas. Remember, that's the Mission Open Air Market, open every Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'll see you here.
The Lynn Company of San Antonio is about creating an amazing living experience for their residents. An experience that isn't perfectly described with words, but is felt the minute you walk through their doors. They strive to maintain an environment where memories are built and life happens. Their team applies advanced education and real-world experience to provide excellent real estate services in acquisitions, asset management, development, and investment. Learn more at lynd.com. Lind, your home, our passion.
Two different products that lower the temperature in your cooling system.
Great for bugs on the front of the car.
You got your wax here, you got your power wax. Generators, pressure washers, lawnmowers, you name it, they got it for it. VP Racing is now offering Octanium Unleaded, which is safer for your street cars, safe for your O2 sensors, your catalytic converters, to get an increase in octane boost by pouring straight to the gas tank.
And now we have the national anthem being played here at Antonio Stadium, and we'll get set between Antonia and Lee coming up.
Yeah, right now we've got the Antonian Apache school song going on. I think to follow will be the national anthem, and that's one of the things that gives me goosebumps, Stu, of coming out to these, is listening to the national anthem, seeing everybody stand up and remove their hats, and it's just it's a thrilling time for me in high school football.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for tonight's
here we go.
invocation.
Just a couple of days after 9/11, the anniversary of the tragedy that was in New York, Washington, D.C., and in Pennsylvania.
One community, we pray.
First a prayer.
Lord God, thank you for all the gifts that you have given us. Help us to enter into this game, this event with love, wisdom, and strength in our hearts. We pray that we would look to you in awe and worship in all that we do. May these men who will be on the field put into practice all that they have learned in their training. Bring to mind all the skills and planning from their preparation times. May each of us, all of us gathered here, be aware of your goodness in our lives. And may this goodness pour out of us a witness to your endless grace. Keep these men safe from all harm. And continue to bless us, Lord. You are our inspiration, our teacher, and our protector. Our trust is in you today and always. We ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen.
At this time, we ask that you remain standing. And gentlemen, please remove your hats as we pay honor to America with the playing of our national anthem.
We'll be right back with the opening kickoff. The Lee Volunteers and the Antonian Apaches coming up next, presented by the Lynn Company. You're watching and listening to Antonian Apache football at TexasSportsProductions.com.
Diego, I need you to scoot down. Stop, scoot down.
Hello and welcome to the Mission Open Air Market. You'll find acres and acres of bargains on toys, tools, clothing, and we've even got a farmer's market every Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday. You'll never know what you're going to find, and I'll see you here.
Lynn Company is proud to host the Traveling Wall as they dedicate their Vietnam War Museum. The public is invited to visit a traveling version of the Vietnam Veterans War Memorial that will serve as a backdrop for the opening of the new Vietnam War Museum in Chavano Park and is available for viewing 24/7 from October 10th through the 13th. Several speakers, including 2 retired generals, will honor the museum's dedication on Friday, October 11th at 4:45. Please join us at Lynn's new headquarters at 4001 Pond Hill Road in Chavano Park.
Your Apaches.
And right now the ball is set at the 20-yard line. Janda Rodriguez, who made 3 field goals in last week's Lee Volunteers win, will be kicking at his own 40-yard line. A couple of men back deep down for the Apaches along the 10.
I want to make it clear to everybody, though, that right now there's only an audio broadcast going on. This game, video-wise, will be archived at TexasSportsProductions.com tomorrow, so you can come back and watch this game on video tomorrow. No live video tonight, but you will hear us reference some replays and such.
Here's the football down. This ball is going to be taken at the 30-yard line and going to the 35 and spinning toward the 40-yard line. It looks like it was Caleb Castro was there, who had started a little bit shorter as he was in front of both Gray and Farmer. And good field position right now for the Apaches as they have the ball not too far from the midfield stripe as they move from left to right on your web dial. 1st and 10 at the 40-yard line. They're led by the quarterback, Khalil Warfield.
And let's take a look at the starting lineup, Stu.
Armstrong, a wide out along with RDI and McDonald. 2 wideouts to the near side. Play action. And this ball is going to be taken close to the midfield stripe and going across the 50 and down to about the 48-yard line. A pretty good throw. And the man who caught the ball for the Apaches on the slant end, Chance Felix, who also plays not only running back in the backfield, and it's a good enough for a first down, 1st and 10 for Antonian on the lead, 48. Hurry up offense right now. 2 wideouts to the inside. Warfield back to throw under pressure, and he's going to run with the football. Gets one blocker. Now trying to look for somebody going to near right side. Throws the ball off, and that ball is caught, but I'm not sure if the intended receiver was inbound or not. The man who caught the ball was Isaiah Ramirez along the near side, and he was brought out of bounds.
Yeah, good pressure that time by the Lee Volunteer defensive line. Flushes Warfield out of the backfield, rolls to the near sidelines, just kind of throws it down the field, probably just trying to avoid the sack. It's going to bring up a 2nd down and 10.
2nd down and 10, ball spot the 47-yard line. Flankers left to right, 1 man the tailback. Here's a handoff to Felix. Felix finds a hole at the 40, downfield to 35, to 30. He may go. He is down to 20, down to the 15, down to the 5. And he's in for the touchdown. Good handoff to Chance Felix, who ran the ball about 47 yards. So for Chance Felix, by the way, that is his 2nd touchdown of the year. 47 seconds into this game, and just like that, Jay Riley, Antonio with a 6-0 lead.
Boom, that's a 3-play drive for 60 yards. And Felix just really had a nice hole initially to run through, cut back to his left, and went down the far sidelines. Showed a tremendous amount of speed to get in the end zone.
Ardiaga for the extra point try. Warfield will hold the snap, the kick. The ball is down, and the kick is no good. The kick is no good, a little bit wide, but 47 seconds into the game, Antonio with a 6-0 lead. As Chance Felix on a 2nd down runs the ball downfield for 47 yards for the score.
And we'll take a quick break. You're watching and listening to Antonian Apache football, presented by the Lind Company on TexasSportsProductions.com.
Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'll see you here. Hi, I'm Joel Dolly, and welcome to the Mission Open Air Market. It's been a long time since the Mission Drive-In days, and we've grown to over 60 acres of the biggest bargains in Texas. Remember this every Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday, and I'll see you here.
The Lind Company of San Antonio is about creating an amazing living experience for their residents. An experience that isn't perfectly described with words, but is felt the minute you walk through their doors. They strive to maintain an environment where memories are built and life happens. Their team applies advanced education and real-world experience to provide excellent real estate services in acquisitions, asset management, development, and investment. Learn more at lynd.com. Lind, your home, our passion.
Jeremiah and Sheldon back deep to receive, and this ball is going to be taken by Sheldon at the 10. Cutting up to the 15, and that gets hit at the 15, but breaks another tackle, still trying to go to the far right side. But Sheldon is not going to get too much room as he is stopped along the 15-yard line. Very good coverage that time by the Antonian special team.
Well, that first drive is really something that's going to keep the confidence going with this undefeated Antonian Apache team. 3 plays, 60 yards, and Felix capping it off with a big long touchdown run, jumping into the end zone. 6-0 lead, and here come the Volunteers.
Seabolt, low snap, but is able to get the ball off, and is a run toward the middle as it went toward the 20-yard line, maybe 5 yards on the play. That's it. It's going to bring him 2nd down to about 5. Hurry up offense. 2nd and 5, Seabolt. In a shotgun, another bad snap, and he's going to take the option himself. Finds a hole up the middle as he was able to get across the 30 and down to about the 31. and pick you up 16 yards on the play. Seabold had nobody to get to, but had to run the ball himself. And here's Shelton and Zavala, the wideouts, Martinez and Delgado out there. 4 wideouts for this Lee Volunteer team. 10:29 remaining in the first quarter, 6-0 in favor of Antonian. Chance Felix on a 47-yard run on the third play of the game. And now, here's a handoff. At that time, the ball was in the hands of Delgado, and he got hit immediately for a loss.
Yeah, coming in there for the Apaches is Aeneas Gray, and you'll be able to see this replay, and that's certainly a pick-and-pull collision right there as Gray comes in, knocks him down in the backfield, and then picks him up and slings him to the ground, bringing up a 3rd and 15 situation for the Volunteers.
9:47 remaining in the first quarter. 2 wideouts to the near left side. Seabolt now looking, and he's going to get sacked and bundled up for a loss. And leading the attack that time for Antonian, Jake McGrath was also there, and he applied one of the hits. And Seabolt, as soon as he got the snap, couldn't run, but we do have a penalty marker down.
Yeah, there was absolutely no time for Seabolt there. Just about the time he picked up the snap, there was Antonian Apaches all over him. Here comes the call from the official now. Chop block against the Lee Volunteers, and Antonian is going to decline that and force a 4th down. Well, now it's saying it's 3rd down. So it is 3rd and 15 here for the Volunteers, trailing already 6-0 early in the first quarter.
3 wideouts to the near left side. Seabolt calling signals. Salazar in the backfield.
And whistles again.
Yep. And the Volunteers getting called for a false start.
And that's going to back them up another 5 yards, like they weren't already in trouble enough at 3rd and 15. They decide to add 5 more yards to it. 3rd and 20 coming up.
2 wideouts to the near left side. Seabolt, the only man in the backfield in the shotgun formation, an empty backfield. 3rd down. He's under pressure. He's going to run with the football, and he's not going to get much as he is only able to make it back to the 20-yard line.
6-0, Antonian over Lee. That's going to bring up a 4th down here, and the Volunteers are going to have to punt from deep in their, not deep, but from inside their own 20-yard line. 4th and 16 now. And that Antonian defense really showing their stuff. We will reset the Antonian starting offense coming up after this punt.
Ryan Armstrong standing on his own 49-yard line. High end over end, and he's going to call for a fair catch right at the Lee 47-yard line. So the punt was about 42 yards, but another excellent field position for the Antonian Apaches, who already have a 6-0 lead with 8:39 to go in quarter number 1.
We're going to go ahead and set the Antonian Apache offense here. If we can pull that graphic up, it moves so fast. Across the offensive line is Short, Beckel, Navarro, Gonzalez, and Torres. Wide receivers Armstrong, Arteaga, and McDonald.
Backs to the I formation, play action. And the backup quarterback trying to go to the far left side. That is Zach Swalen, but he is not going to go anywhere as he tried to find somebody to the far left side, but he was taken down by Martovian Reese, one of the linemen. Here it is again, as we have good pressure by Reese, and he was stopped at the 50-yard line. So it's going to bring up a 2nd down and 13 at the 50-yard line. Bounce to the near side, slide in pass, and this one is caught. And going from the 40 to 35, still on his feet downfield to the 30, breaking a tackle around the 27-yard line and finally getting dragged down at the 30, but being marked down at the 27-yard line. It was Aeneas Gray.
Yeah,
and he really had some good moves.
When you're able to see this tomorrow, you're going to want to see this replay, because this is just, I am not going down Gray just fighting for every ounce with every ounce of strength that he has to stay up. And another big gain there for the Apaches.
Gray in the backfield along with Schwalen. First and 10 at the 27-yard line. Gray again off left tackle, trying to make his way to the 25-yard line. And he gets inside the 20 and all the way down to about the 16-yard line. Picking up 11, and that's going to move the chains again.
Yeah, that's just a classic case of an offensive line staying on their blocks and continuing to drive their defenders back. And Gray just picking his way through, following those big guys and able to pick up 11 yards. And that looked pretty easy right there for Gray.
First and 10 at the 16-yard line. Ramirez in the backfield. 2 wideouts to the near right side. Gray in the slot, and Gray will take the pass. He's trying to go inside the 20 and is stopped for a loss at about the 17-yard line. Maybe a loss of 1 as a good coverage as Gray was out there in the slot, but he didn't get anywhere. And looks like Antonian is going to call for a timeout. No, they're not going to call for a timeout.
Yeah, not much available there, but I think what we've had is a fumble.
It looks like, yeah.
The Lee Volunteers, their offense is coming out on the field. I think Gray was fighting for extra yards and ended up losing control of the football, and Siebold brings his offense out on the field for the Volunteers.
First and 10 to 27-yard line. Another bad snap, but Seafold's going to go long, and that ball is going to be intercepted at the 35, and taking the ball at the 30 and down to the 25-yard line was Brian Armstrong, one of the secondary men, and he was right out there.
Yeah, Siebold not under any pressure, just doesn't get the ball out there far enough. And there you see your interception, back-to-back turnovers, one by Antonian as a fumble, and then the interception by Siebold. It's 1st and 10 for the Apaches, starting at the Volunteer 20-yard line.
Fertitta, number 24, in the backfield. And now here's a handoff. Actually, it was a fake as Warfield is back in. Didn't really get much as he tried to go up the middle and was stopped almost immediately when he took the ball. So he spot the ball around the 21-yard line.
Just faked the jet sweep and tried to take it right up the middle, but the Lee Volunteer interior defensive line able to stand up their blockers and hold their ground and able to tackle Warfield for no gain at all.
Ramirez to the left. 2nd and 10 at the 20-yard line. Warfield himself going up the middle. Warfield trying to make his way up the middle to about the 15-yard line and maybe picks up about 5, and that's it.
Yeah, a little more room to roam there in the middle for Warfield that time.
3rd and 15 for the Apaches at the Lee 15. Check that 3rd and 5, I beg your pardon. 5:25 to go, 6-0 Antonian. Chance Felix with a 47-yard field goal. Here's the pass to the far side, and that ball is complete and taken by Chance Felix, who was out at the left flat, but he was brought down immediately that time by Sincere Morgan.
Sincere Morgan with a couple of big plays. I think he's the one that either forced or recovered the fumble just a few moments ago by the Apaches, and now he came up and made a big hit, holding Felix short of the first down, bringing up a 4th and 1. The Apaches are going to go for it here.
Short. 4th and 1 at the 11-yard line. Lee territory. Warfield will take it himself. Stiff wants one man. Breaks the tackle. Goes to the hole. Brought down immediately at the 1-yard line and saving a touchdown that time for the Lee Volunteers. Eamon Raymond. Raymond just was able to ankle tackle Warfield that time and prevented a touchdown, but it's going to be 1st and goal now for the Apaches on the Lee 1-yard line.
Just pure power there by the Apaches, showing off their superior strength, going right up the middle. Warfield
fumbles. Warfield in trouble, and he's going to pounce on the ball, but there's going to be a big loss right there as they spot the ball at about the 11-yard line. A big loss of 10 despite being at the 1 yard line, a chance to increase the lead. A very bad snap indeed, and a big loss for the Apaches that time.
Yeah, that ball just came rolling back at the feet of Warfield, and he was able to get back on it just as the Volunteer defensive line was getting there. But now all the way back at the 13-yard line, so it's 2nd and goal from the 13.
3 men to white out. Here's a handoff to Felix. Felix now trying to get his way through, and he does for the score. Chance Felix with his 2nd touchdown of the night. So after a loss of 12 yards, he got the pitch out off left tackle, ran it in for the score, 13 yards. So he's scored 2 touchdowns, a combined 60 yards tonight, his 3rd touchdown of the year. So we have 3:38 remaining in the first quarter. Antonian up 12-0.
Yeah, Felix has made it look easy so far tonight with the way he's running the ball and seeing the holes open up. So
snap ball down, the kick is on the way, and the kick by Arteaga is no good. All right, good, I beg your pardon. We'll take a timeout here. 3:38 remaining first quarter from Antonian. The Apaches lead Lee 13-0, and you are watching the Antonian League game on Texas Sports Productions.
Do you know what optimism can do? Whatever it wants. We've seen it unlock resilience that makes the impossible inevitable, inspire generosity to put families back on their feet, and give Davids courage to throw rocks at Goliaths. At Frost, we believe optimism can change lives emotionally, physically, and financially. And with your help, we're going to prove it.
Back here at Antonian Field, Stu Paul along with Jay Riley, and Apaches lead 13-0. Delgado and Shelton back deep. And here's the kick that time. That ball's going to be taken on a bounce, and it's going to be taken at the 15, up to 20, and breaking a tackle and going down to the 23-yard line. It was Robert Delgado, so Delgado carried for about 13 yards, and the ball spotted around the 23-yard line. So Lee certainly has their work cut out for them. Jay Riley, as they trail 13-0 on a pair of touchdowns by the Apaches, Chance Felix. So they are trailing 13-0. So Seabolt not only needs better snaps from his center, but needs better protection from his offensive line.
Well, they're going to have to get something done here. Already just 3:32 to go in the first quarter, down by 13, to be in their best interest to get a good drive going here and keep that defense off the field.
And now with the ball, trying to go to the right side, and really nothing to do at that time for Lee. It was Oscar Castro Gonzalez. And they spot the ball at the 24-yard line. And now they say it's a couple of yards gained, so they mark it at the 26-yard line. Will be 2nd and 8. A little over 3 minutes to go, first quarter, as Lee is moving from left to right. One man in the backfield. Seabolt will take it himself, trying to get a block, trying to go to the left side across the 30. We do have a penalty marker down to 29 as Seabolt was making inside the 30 to the 33-yard line. Looked like the man who brought him down was Indius Gray, but we do have a penalty marker just inside the 30-yard line.
Yeah, that's usually in the area of holding. Trying to find someone that will let us know, but they are backing the Volunteers up, so it's certainly going to be. There's the white hat. Okay. But they're going to back the Volunteers up. It must have been holding. I didn't see the call.
Penalty, yes. So they're going to bring it all the way back to the 16-yard line. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 18.
So the Volunteers making it even more difficult on themselves. Already trailing 13-0.
One man in motion. Seabolt waiting for the snap. Throwing to the far side. And that ball is incomplete. Trying to go from the backfield to the right flat was Ellis Costello, but it's an incomplete. So it's going to bring up a 3rd and long at the 19-yard line.
Yeah, big defensive lineman got in there, got his paw up, and knocked that ball down. Couldn't see the number on it, but believe it was 26. And Volunteers going tempo.
He'll run on third down. Siebold trying to get a block, but he's not going to go anywhere as he was gang tackled and brought down at the 25-yard line. And the man who gang tackled him for the Apaches was Jake McGrath, one of the defensive linemen. Boy, Siebold made a great effort to try to wiggle away from McGrath, but he said, "Oh, no, you don't. You're going to go down." That's exactly what happened.
Yeah, Siebold has been basically the only offense the Volunteers have been able to generate so far tonight. But still on 4th and 10, head coach of the Lee Volunteers, Danny Closa, has to punt this ball away. It almost goes over the head, and then a rugby-style kick.
Yeah, Gonzalez trying to kick it off as the ball is trickling toward the 45. Armstrong was the man back deep, and now they're going to let it roll to about the 44. And for the third straight drive, the Apaches, who have already scored a couple of touchdowns by Chance Felix, have a great field position again. Jay 1st and 10 at their own 44 with a minute 43 remaining in the first quarter, and they're up 13-0.
About 32 yards on that punt, and it was almost disastrous. The ball almost sailed over the punter's head. He climbed the ladder, brought it down, rolled to his right a little bit, then hit one that rolled quite a ways.
McDonald in a slot right to the near right side, Ardiaga. And now a play action. Now Warfield is going to go long and deep, and that ball is incomplete. That time he tried to get Armstrong, but staying with him for the Lee Volunteers. It looked like Cal Killian was there, I believe, but tried to go long that time, but an incomplete. It'll bring up a 2nd and 10 at the 44-yard line of Antonian.
Well overthrown there by Warfield, and it did look like Armstrong had a step on his defender who was just overthrown, and maybe it was because a little bit of pressure was coming in on Warfield and he had to unload the football a little bit earlier than he wanted to.
Minute 35 remaining in the first quarter. Antonio with the ball. 3 wideouts to the right side, including Delgado, and on a snap we do have a whistle as Fertitta was faking, and now we do have a whistle. Delay of game is going to be called against Antonian, so that's going to back him up 5 yards. So instead, they'll be at the 39 instead.
Yeah, so far, Antonian has been able to survive their mistakes. They've turned the ball over. They've had a couple of penalties. On the flip side, the Lee Volunteers have had a turnover and some penalties, and they just haven't been able to recover from those 2nd and long and 3rd and long situations. Right now, Antonian is controlling both sides of the line of scrimmage.
2nd and 50 at the 39-yard line. Swing pass, and that is incomplete. Nobody was there. I think one man had broken a little bit far to the left. I think Armstrong might have been at the left flat. So that's going to bring up 3rd and 15 at the 39-yard line of Antonian. And so far, good pressure on this drive by the Lee Volunteers, especially their front line.
Yeah, they were very quick to get into Warfield's face on that play, and he just had to try to unload it probably earlier again than he wanted to. Ball falls incomplete, brings up a long 3rd and 15, and this is a big play for the Volunteers to possibly be able to flip this field a little bit for field position.
Ray Artiaga and Maddox McDonald on the near side, but instead Warfield with the quarterback option, making his way for the 45 and going down to the 49-yard line, but he's still going to be short about 5 yards as he stopped just short of the midfield stripe. And looks like that the Apaches are going to punt it away. It was 4th down and 5 when that play had stopped. So we have the clock running with a minute and 2 remaining in the first quarter. 13-0 in favor of Antonian, and back deep to receive now for the Lee Volunteers. Looks like that is Delgado. And the snap and the kick. And Delgado will take it at about his own 14 and decide he's going to fair catch it. A pretty good punt. And unfortunately for Lee, not a good field position, but a very nice punt indeed. That punt went about 64 yards.
Yeah, that was a good, solid punt there. And the Lee Volunteers had an opportunity to maybe try to flip that field position a little bit. They've had terrible field position in this first quarter, 42 seconds to go, trailing by 13. The Lee Volunteers line up for their 4th offensive series.
Delgado to the near left side, and here's a handoff of right tackle, making his way to the 20 and down to about the 25-yard line for Lee, and that was number 32. That was Ellis Costella. Who was
There's
able to go
fumble.
hold it, fumble, and now the Apaches do recover this time. So each team has recovered one fumble in this game, and very good position right now. Even the best of the 4th drive coming up now for this Apache team with just 23 seconds remaining in the first quarter, and Antonio with a 13-0 lead.
Yeah, never saw that ball pop out or anything, but the Antonian Apaches jumped up. Very excited, like something had happened, and sure enough, fumble recovery, the second turnover, excuse me.
Armstrong to the left, handoff to Gray. Gray going up the middle. Gray going to the 20. He's to the 15, and he is down to about the 11-yard line and picking up 7 yards of the play. That's going to be 2nd and 3.
That will probably be the last offensive play of the first quarter. So we'll take the break here. Your score, the Antonian Apaches on a homecoming Friday night lead the Lee Volunteers 13-0. You're watching and listening to Apache football presented by the Lynn Company on TexasSportsProductions.com.
Two different products that lower the temperature in your cooling system.
Great for bugs on the front of the car.
You got your wax here, you got your power wax. Generators, pressure washers, lawnmowers, you name it, they got it for it. VP Racing is now offering Octanium Unleaded, which is safer for your street cars, safe for your O2 sensors, your catalytic converters, to get an increase in octane boost by pouring straight to the gas tank.
Do you know what optimism can do? Whatever it wants. We've seen it unlock resilience that makes the impossible inevitable, inspire generosity to put families back on their feet, and give Davids courage to throw rocks at Goliaths. At Frost, we believe optimism can change lives emotionally, physically, and financially. And with your help, we're going to prove it.
If not, no.
And now here's Warfield. He's going to run with it. He's going to go to 10. He's going to go in for the touchdown.
Look at that blocking by Armstrong on the far edge. The wide receiver, number 2 Armstrong, able to get on the defensive back and drive him all the way back into the end zone. So Warfield just had an easy opening into the end zone after the second turnover in the first quarter by the Volunteers, and the Apaches jump right on it.
Diego Arteaga will be in for the extra point try, missing on his first 2 extra point attempts. Snap ball down. The kick is on the way. And this time it is good. So an 11-yard run by Khalil Warfield on a 2nd and 3. And here's the keys for the Apaches to try to win tonight.
Well,
courtesy of the Kelegauda group.
By the Kelegauda group, exactly. Control both sides of the line of scrimmage, discipline and limit the mistakes, and go to Warfield. And we're bringing these up now because this is what's happened so far for Antonian, and right now a 20-point lead early in the second quarter. They have controlled both lines of scrimmage. They have been fairly disciplined, and Warfield has been a beast so far. Let's take a look now at the Lee Volunteers, and so far how this game has played out. Create turnovers. They have gotten 1 turnover, but they've turned it over twice. Established the run, probably less than 30 yards rushing in the first quarter, and no zone for Warfield. And so far, Khalil Warfield has ruled the battlefield so far, so to speak, in a 20-0 lead for the Antonian Apaches.
Jeremiah Shelton on his own 10-yard line. Robert Delgado a couple of steps back on his own 8 as the Volunteers will move from left to right. Arteaga getting set to kick on his own 40-yard line. Very high end over end. Shelton with the ball. Shelton now going to the 20. Finds a hole at the middle to the 30. He's to the 40, going to the far left side. Midfield stripe. He's down to the 40, trying to break a tackle at the 38-yard line. And finally was brought down at about the 38-yard line of Antonian. A very good run that time. And that was a run of about 62 yards for Shelton.
Yeah, that might be the spark there that the Volunteers needed to get them going. A big return all the way down. We've got a penalty flag, though. Illegal block in the back against the Volunteers. So
that big run.
Everything they do right now is just backfiring on them, as Murphy's Law has kind of entered into the equation here, and the Volunteers will be backed up. What could have been a first down at the Antonian 36 or 37-yard line, they will now set up scrimmage from their own 28.
Flankers on the near right side, one man to slide, and a fumble, but it is picked up by one of the running backs of Lee, and he gets bottled up at the far left side. It was a bad stop again. Siebold couldn't hang on to it, but it was Taj Tellisford who tried to go to the far left side, but really didn't get very much at all.
We want to talk about the John Wayne Player of the Game promotion, and basically before the end of this game, you go to johnwayne.com, vote for who you think Stu and I are going to pick for the Player of the Game. By voting, that automatically enters you into the $10,000 home makeover contest going on at johnwayne.com. And if you happen to agree and pick the right one that Stu and I pick, you get that really nice John Wayne Player of the Game hat.
Hand off to Tellisford, going to the right side to the 30, and he is down at about the 36-yard line. It'll be a 3rd and 2 down for the Volunteers on their own 36. Tellisford and Siebold in the backfield. Siebold calling the signals. Siebold under pressure. Look out, he's going to be brought down immediately at about the 33-yard line. Leading to stop that time for Antonian. Aeneas Gray, and boy, Gray has really applied some pressure on Siebold so far in the early going tonight.
Yeah, there hasn't been a lot of time for Siebold to find an open receiver, and he just seems to be under such duress.
And I thought I saw a hanky being dropped as well near about the 36-yard line.
Well, I do see an official putting whatever penalty it was against the Volunteers and was declined by the Apaches. And that is going to bring up a 4th down and about a long 4, let's say, and the Volunteers are going to send the punting unit on.
Rodriguez getting ready to stand at the 19 for the punt, and back to receive is Brian Armstrong on his own 35. Rodriguez kick, nearly blocked. And that ball's going to bounce around the 43-yard line, still trickling, and finally pounced on that time by a Volunteer player. And the man who pounced on the ball, looks like it was Jack Cochran who was there, but again, another good field position as Antonian will start their 5th drive of the game. 10:07 remaining in the first half. They lead 20-0. 14 and 13-yard runs by Chance Felix in this game. And, of course, one by Khalil Warfield, who had a 13-yarder. And the extra point then was good by Arteaga after he missed his first 2 extra point attempts. 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line for Antonian. Warfield calling signals. And here's the handoff off left tackle. Going to the left side to the midfield stripe to the 50, down to the 45, and down to the 40-yard line for Antonian. That was Nick Farmer. That was his first carry, and a pretty good run that time for the Antonian Apaches there, Jay Riley.
Well, like we've said all along here since the beginning of this game, the Apaches are controlling the line of scrimmage and getting block after block after block, and look at it, just untouched. You'll be able to see, but a flag did come flying in. We saw it. I think we're going to get a holding call downfield against the Apaches. It'll be a spot foul, and that'll back it back up to the 46-yard line, and it'll be first down and 8 from there.
Yeah, it looks like a loss of 10 on that penalty. First and 10 at the 44-yard line. Artiago way out to the right side. McDonald in a slot right. Armstrong to the near left side, backs to the eye. Play action, Warfield in trouble. Warfield loses the football, and Lee pounces on it, and they recover. The man who recovered the football that time was Sincere Morgan. Khalil Warfield trying to go to the right side. We're going to see it again when we get a chance there.
Well, I tell you what, old number 4 for the Lee Volunteers, Sincere Morgan, has played his fanny off so far tonight. I think that may be his second fumble recovery of the night as well, and is setting up the Lee Volunteers with their best field position of the night.
First and 10 at the 40-yard line of the Apaches. Going off left tackle, making his way off to the far left side, the 35 and down to the 34-yard line. For the Volunteers, it was Taj Tellisford. Of course, he's the main running back, despite Seabold. Hurry-up offense, 2nd and 2 at the 32 of the Apaches for Lee. Tellisford again. Tellisford trying to blast his way across the 30 inside to about the 28 that time.
Running with a little authority there, and that's you kind of feel a little hop in the Volunteer step right now. Is 2 plays right there. They've got themselves a first down. It's amazing how much easier it is to pick up that first down when you get 6 or 7 yards on first down.
Tellisford in the backfield along with Seabold. Play action. Seabold looking to right side. 3 wide receivers thrown to the near side, and that ball is caught around the 20-yard line and going out of bounds that time. And I believe it was Robert Munoz who caught that ball, and he was able to catch it before he went out of bounds.
Yeah, that was a great job by Seabold, extending the play a little bit with his legs and then finding an open receiver on the near sidelines and throwing the ball where no one else was going to catch it but his own guy.
2nd and 6 at the 21-yard line. And trying to go off right tackle, trying to make his way from the 20 down to the 19-yard line. It was Taj Tellisford with his second carry on this drive as well, but not a whole lot there, Jay.
Not a whole lot, but it's better than some of the things that have been happening to the Volunteers tonight. They've been losing yards on first down, and this time at least they pick up a couple of yards.
3rd and 1 at the 19-yard line of Antonian. 2-man in the backfield. Now play action. Seabold looking, has some time, throwing downfield, and that ball is caught for a touchdown for Lee. And looked like the man who caught the ball, I believe that was Robert Delgado, and what a great leaping catch. A 19-yarder, and Lee is on the board.
Well, you'll be able to see this one again tomorrow. We're watching the replay now, and Seabold throws it out there, and just climbing the ladder to bring that one down was Jeremiah Shelton, the junior wide receiver, and just like that, a turnover produces points, and the Lee Volunteers get the extra point and narrow the score to 20-7 now with 8:24 to go in the second quarter. We'll take a break. You're listening, and we'll be able to watch Antonian Apache football presented by the Lind Company on TexasSportsProductions.com.
Hi, I'm Joel Dolly, and welcome to the Mission Open Air Market. You'll find acres and acres of bargains on toys, tools, clothing, and we've even got a farmer's market every Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday. You'll never know what you're going to find, and I'll see you here.
20-7 in favor of Antonian. A great pass from Seabold to Shelton, his first touchdown of the night. And back to receive now for Antonian is Aeneas Gray, as Rodriguez will kick the ball from his own 40-yard line. Line drive kick headed toward Gray. He's got the 10. He goes to the 15. He's at the 20. Steps up the middle. Finds out the 25. Goes to 30, 35. All the way down close to the 40-yard line. Picking up a big run of 30 yards on the play. 6th drive for Antonian tonight. 1st and 10 at their own 40.
Well, that's the way that you want your team to answer to a score if you're Van Fushak, is a big return of the kickoff all the way out to the 38-yard line, setting up the Apaches with pretty good starting field position after the momentum seemed to be switching back to the Volunteers.
Backs in the eye. And a pitch out off left tackle going to the 40, still on his feet, dragging a couple of defenders to the 45-yard line for Antonian. Chance Felix, who has had 2 of the 3 touchdowns tonight. Good play by the offensive line, blocking for Felix, going almost to the midfield stripe. They spot the ball at the 45. It'll be 2nd down and 3 for the Apaches. 7:54 to go in the half. Antonian with the ball, and they're up 27.
It sure does make play calling a lot easier when you pick up 7 yards on first down. I mean, that's called getting ahead of the chains.
Wishbone formation, 2 outs to the far right side. Artiaga way out to the right. Hand off to Felix. Felix blasts his way to 45 and almost fumbled, but still was able to maintain possession as he was able to make it down to the 49-yard line. He needed 3 and he got 4, and it looks like they got the first down, and the Apaches do.
And they'll be able to chew up some more clock here. 7.5 to go in the second quarter. The Apaches got the ball to start the game, so the Volunteers will get it coming out of half. But right now the Apaches are just looking to put a sustained drive together and get some more points on the board.
1st and 10 to 49. Ramirez is in a slot right. Artiaga all the way out to the right. Play action. Warfield going to the far side, trying to find a man downfield. And that ball is taken by Artiaga, I believe, as he went all the way to the far right side. A good play action and a good catch that time by Antonians. Oh, wait a minute. 2nd down 10 looks like
they're saying incomplete.
Yeah, I thought for a minute he had it. I saw one of the coaches was applauding. I thought he had caught it, but actually it was the far side. That's Lee, so it is incomplete. And hang on to it. It'll be 2nd and 10, the 49-yard line. Again, Artiaga way out to the right. Slot right is McDonald, Armstrong, and Felix to the near left side. Handoff to the fullback for Tina's first carry. He's got a big hole at the 40. Downfield 35, breaks the tackle 30. He's to the 25. He's to the 20. Fertitta is going to go in for the touchdown. How do you like that? Will Fertitta, who had only carried the ball 1 time for 2 yards coming into tonight's action, was able to make his way all the way down to the goal line, 49 yards, and now it's a big lead for Antonian.
Wow, just sneaks in the corner of the end zone. When we were here a couple of weeks ago, he made some really nice catches coming out of the backfield, but really, obviously, hadn't handled the ball running very often, but really takes advantage of the opportunity on that one and takes it 51 yards for a touchdown.
Artiaga in for the extra point try. The kick is up, and the kick is good. First touchdown for Fertitta, breaking the action with 6:50 remaining in the first half from Antonian Stadium. The score, Antonian 27 and Lee 7. You're listening and watching high school football on Texas Sports Productions.
Two different products that lower the temperature in your cooling system.
Great for bugs on the front of the car.
You got your wax here, you got your power wax. Generators, pressure washers, lawnmowers, you name it, they got it for it. VP Racing is now offering Antonian unleaded, which is safer for your street cars, safe for your O2 sensors, your catalytic converters, to get an increase in octane boost by pouring straight to the gas tank.
Sheldon Artiaga back to receive. 51-yard run by Fertitta. The extra point by Artiaga is good with 6:50 to go in the first half. It is Antonian 20 and Lee 7. Stu Paul along with Jay Riley. So Shelton and Artiaga. Artiaga at his own 40. Shelton is back deep along with Delgado. Standing straight back now is Artiaga. He has been able to make his last 2 extra point attempts despite missing the first 2 on the 2 touchdowns by Chance Felix. This ball is going to be taken now at the 10-yard line, 15 to the 20, up to the 25. Trying to make his way across the 30 and down to about the 31-yard line. And it was a pretty good run that time by Delgado, so he picks up about 21 yards to the play. 1st and 10 now for the Volunteers on their own 31. .640 to go in the second quarter, 27-7. Chance Felix with 2 touchdowns. Khalil Warfield with a 13-yarder, and just now Will Fertitta with a 51-yarder. First carry of the night, his second carry of the season, running for 54 yards thus far this season. Seabolt calling signals to men in the backfield. Handoff left tackle, making his way to the 35 and down to the 36-yard line for the Lee Volunteers. That was Taj Tellisford. That's only his 4th carry of the night. He picks up about 5. It'll be a second down at about 5, and they spot the ball at around the 36-yard line. Hurry up offense. 2 wideouts to the near right side. Tellisford in the backfield again. Seabold trying to throw to the near side, and that's incomplete. The intended receiver that time was Robert Muniz, but that was thrown way over his head. And good defensive coverage that time by Caleb Castro and Curran Strode. That's going to bring up a 3rd and 6 now for the Volunteers on their own 36-yard line. And that time Seabolt didn't have too much time there. And 2 wideouts to the near right side. And here's Tellisford going up the middle. Tellisford to the 40. Still on his feet, spinning, and finally brought down at the 40-yard line. And making the tackle that time for Antonian. Looks like that was Nick Farmer and Jalen Appleby who were there to make the stop.
Appleby coming up, making a big hit. And that would certainly qualify as a pick and pull collision. The part you need at a price you can afford. Pick and pull.
And that was good enough for a first down. Boy, good move by Tellisford that time. 3 wideouts to the far left side. 1 man in the backfield. Tellisford off left tackle. Tellisford trying to zigzag as he tries to cross to the 45 and makes his way to the 46-yard line.
So absolutely nothing up the middle where the play was designed to go. So he dips to his left and gets around the outside a little bit, able to pick up about 5 yards instead of virtually nothing right down Main Street.
Gonzalez said Tellisford still in the backfield with 5:17 to go in the first half, 27-7. Antonio with a 20-point lead. They're 2-0. Lee 1-1. Seabolt getting a stop in the pocket, throwing deep down to the far left side.
Oh,
that ball is incomplete. The intended receiver that time for the Lee Volunteers, Jeremiah Shelton, but very good coverage as he had gone one-on-one that time, and it was Artiago who did a good job staying with him. So it's going to bring up a 3rd down and 6 at about the 46 for Lee.
Yeah, with that tight of coverage, Seabolt just can't afford to throw it short or it's going to be intercepted. So he erred on the side of caution and threw it long.
Seabolt breaks a tackle, quarterback option. He's going to get stopped at the 50-yard line. He needed a 6, but he only got 4.
Yeah, he's going to be a little short there, but don't be surprised with a 20-point deficit that Danny Closen decides to go for it here. 4:45 to go in the second quarter. And here go the Volunteers.
Got to gamble, got to roll the dice on 4th and 2. Seabolt, despite getting tripped up, quarterback options, got the first down, goes to the 45 off right tackle, inside the 40 and down to about the 39-yard line. So he was able to get the first down. He needed 1. And he certainly got about 11 on that play.
Yeah, he really picked up a chunk of yards. He's actually been a pretty good offensive weapon here tonight. About the only thing the Volunteers had until they started handing it off to Tellisford. And Tellisford's done a pretty good job picking up some yardage as well.
Back to the pro set. Seabolt has time, throws to the far side. That ball is complete. Taking the ball at the far side that time, and looks like it was Delgado that had caught the ball for Lee. Robert Delgado with a good catch to the far side. So it's going to bring up a 2nd and 2 at the 31-yard line of Antonian. Boy, he almost had a first down. Tried to spin, but couldn't get it. Looks like we're going to have a timeout here.
And we'll take it with them. You're 3:51 to go in the first half. 27-7, Antonian Apache lead. You're watching and listening to Antonian Apache football, presented by the Lynn Company on TexasSportsProductions.com.
Lynn Company is proud to host the Traveling Wall as they dedicate their Vietnam War Museum. The public is invited to visit a traveling version of the Vietnam Veterans War Memorial that will serve as a backdrop for the opening of the new Vietnam War Museum in Chavano Park and is available for viewing 24/7 from October 10th through the 13th. Several speakers, including 2 retired generals, will honor the museum's dedication on Friday, October 11th at 4:45. Please join us at Lynn's new headquarters at 4001 Pond Hill Road in Chavano Park.
Hi, I'm Joel Dolly, and welcome to the Mission Open Air Market. You'll find acres and acres of bargains on toys, tools, clothing, and we've even got a farmer's market. You'll never know what you're going to find. And I'll see you here.
For our inaugural Antonian homecoming match.
2nd and 2 at the 31-yard line of Antonian for lead. They trail 27-7.
Just another great way of bringing the family together.
Gonzalez.
Here we go.
And Tellisford in the backfield. Tellisford will take the handoff, going off left tackle, makes his way to the 30 inside the 30, and I believe he might have been stopped at about the 29. He needed a couple, but was able to get a little bit more than that. And it's good enough for a first down for the Volunteers as they spot the ball at about the 29-yard line. We're down to 3:44 remaining in the first half. Hurry up offense again. Tellisford in the backfield along with Seabold. Seabold taking a snap, rolling to the near right side. Under pressure, throwing downfield, and that ball is short. It was incomplete. The intended receiver that time was Shelton. He threw the ball a little bit short. I think if Shelton not had gone a step or 2 back deep, he might have caught the ball that time, but it's an incomplete instead.
Yeah, Seabold trying to throw that ball on the run, that's difficult enough. And just came up a little short there. But it did look like the intended receiver kind of drifted towards the end zone a yard or 2. Had he stayed on the straight line, might have been able to catch that.
2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. 2 wideouts to the far left side. 3 to the near right side. Seabold, empty backfield. He's going to take it himself, going off left tackle. Seabird trying to go outside. Seabird to about the 25, goes to the 20, and is stopped at about the 19-yard line.
Yeah, but maybe most importantly, getting out of bounds and stopping the clock, preserving a timeout. Still 3:22 to go, so not hugely pressed for time.
3rd and 3 now for Leon, the Antonian 20-yard line. Tellisford in the backfield, quarterback option himself off left tackle Seabold. Seabold's not going to get too much as he tried to go inside the 20 and down to about the 19, maybe 1 yard on the play, and that's it.
But it's almost looking like they're marking him right up near the first down, but no, there's no way. He still has to be a couple of yards shy of it, and that's going to bring up a 4th down, I believe.
4th and 2, and Lee's going to go for it on the Antonian 19. Got 1 man in the backfield, Tellisford along with Seabold. Seabold with the quarterback option off left tackle. He's got the first down as he was able to dive forward, getting inside the 15 to about the 14-yard line. He needed 1, he got 5 instead. 1st and 10 for Leon, the Antonian 14.
Seabold faked out one of the Antonian defensive linemen. I don't know who it was. He was coming up to make the tackle, and Seabold faked the pitch. The defensive lineman bit on the fake, and that's what allowed Seabold to cut it upfield and pick up the first down.
Now they're going to spot him at the 18, so he was actually touched at the 18 and then tried to dive forward. First down handoff, that time going off right tackle. Tellisford nowhere to go as he tried to go off right tackle. The man who brought him down for Antonian was Jake McGrath, one of the defensive linemen.
Yeah, that was a great play to catch him from behind, grab up his ankles, and bring him down. Still clock continuing to run here, running down close to 2 minutes to go in the first half. 2nd and 13 after that 3-yard loss.
This time Gonzalez will be on a slot left. Tellisford in the backfield along with Seabold. Two men on the near right side, one in the slot. Seafold, high step, looking and trying to find a man to the right side, and the pass the time intended that time for Delgado. It looks like it was incomplete. And on the coverage that time for Antonian, that was Nick Farmer, one of the linebackers for the Apaches.
Now you're looking at 3rd and 13. Probably 2 plays to pick that up, but still a long way to go in a short time to get there. 1:42 to go in the first half.
3rd down and long now for the Apaches. Seabolt throwing signals. Gonzalez and Tellus for the backfield. Seabolt dropping straight back to throw. Throws up the middle. Incomplete. Trying to get to that ball, but it went off the right hand of the intended receiver. That was Edgar Martinez, one of the right outs. So that's going to bring up 4th and 13. Well, they're going to need all the scoring they could get with only a minute 37 to go. They're down by 20, the Volunteers team.
Well, they're sitting in the field goal unit. Remember, the Volunteers get the ball to start the second half, so 3 points here. And then, of course, Danny Closa is thinking touchdown there. So, you know, when he gets into the third quarter.
DeAndre Rodriguez, the 31-yard attempt, snap ball down. The kick is up, and the kick is good. A 31-yard field goal by DeAndre Rodriguez will take a timeout. 1:30 remaining in the first half from Antonian Stadium. The score now reads the Antonian Apaches 27, the Lee Volunteers 10. And Jay and I will be right back. This is high school football via Texas Sports Productions.
Do you know what optimism can do? Whatever it wants. We've seen it unlock resilience that makes the impossible inevitable. Inspire generosity to put families back on their feet. And give Davids courage to throw rocks at Goliaths. At Frost, we believe optimism can change lives emotionally, physically, and financially. And with your help, we're going to prove it.
Aeneas Gray and Nick Farmer standing deep down for Antonian at their own 5-yard line. DeAndre Rodriguez, who just nailed home a 31-yard field goal, will be kicking at his own 40. A little bit of a shorter kick that time, taken at the 20 and at the 25, going to the near side, spinning along the 28-yard line, and finally being brought down that time. It was number 5 for Antonian. That was Maddox McDonald, who caught the short kick. And a little bit of a pretty good effort there by Rodriguez, as this is probably the worst field position that Antonians had. Not too bad on their own 29-yard line, 1st and 10, moving right to left.
Yeah, now the Volunteers have to protect from giving up the big play. Antonian, of course, wants to stick this in the end zone and obviously has the big play athletes to do it.
Warfield, option, finding a hole at the middle, 50, may go all the way, one man to beat, breaks the tackle to the 30, 20, to 10, to the 5, and Warfield in for a touchdown. Warfield running a total of 71 yards, his 2nd touchdown of the night. He had himself a 13-yarder early on, so with only a minute left remaining in the first half, no flags as well. It's the 33-10 lead for Antonian.
Well, like I said, is there a penalty?
Hold on.
There is certainly a Lee Volunteer, I think, that is injured. I think it was the young man who took the last-ditch effort to get the feet out. But, yeah, now I see the flag all the way back at the 37-yard line, so it's coming back.
So the 71-yard run by Warfield will be nullified right now. And boy, you hate it no matter, even if you're up by so many points there, Jay Riley, you want to try to pour it on and keep the momentum going, and that's what drives coaches nuts, a penalty after a big run and a big score.
Well, so many things can happen, and we've seen so many comebacks in Texas high school football history, and some of the greatest comebacks. And you know, you want to score every time you can, and certainly a 71-yarder is pretty special. And the way Warfield just really showed his speed there and got to the near sidelines, and the effort, I think that's the Lee Volunteer, I can't get his number yet, but the effort that young man put in to try to stop Warfield from getting into the end zone, just to be turned back by a penalty. Looks like it says it's number 1, but I don't have a number 1.
Enrique Davis, I believe.
I don't have a number 1 on the roster, but it is number 1. And what a great effort on his part to try to stop that play. But regardless, penalty against the Apaches is going to back it up. And we'll try it again with 1:11 to go.
1st and 12 for Antonian on their own 27-yard line. They lead 27-10. Chance Felix, who has scored 2 touchdowns to the backfield along with Warfield right now. Play clock, it will now start, and here we go. As Antonian moves from right to left. Armstrong to the near side, draw play. Felix has it up the middle. Felix going to the 30. He's to the 35 and makes it all the way down to about the 38. 1 yard short of a first down. He picks up 11 yards. It'll play. It'll be 2nd down and 1.
See Felix here, when you get to see this big pick and pull collision right there, the part you need at a price you can afford, that's pick and pull. And that is a pick and pull collision.
2nd and 1. And here's a run by Warfield again. Warfield to the 40. Warfield is out of bounds at the 37-yard line and bringing him out of bounds that time for Lee. It was Jonathan Rivas, one of the defensive linemen, and it looked like that Sincere Morgan was also helping out on the coverage as well. Good run by Warfield, and is able to pick up a first down. It'll be 1st and 10 for Antonian on the Lee 36.
Looks like the same play that Warfield took all the way to the end zone, but it was nullified by a penalty, and just great running instincts, great blocking, great execution by the Apaches.
Felix in motion, dropping straight back under pressure. Warfield dump pass caught by Fertitta. Fertitta the 40. He's to the 35, and he is to the 25 and inside the 25 and down to about the 22-yard line, picking up 14 yards on the play and another first down for Antonian. A man who scored a 51-yarder in this half, and Fertitta coming through with his second run, this time a short pass that he was able to get 14. Warfield throwing on a first down. Pass caught by Armstrong. Armstrong going inside the 15 down to about the 14-yard line. Picking up 8, but he'll be a couple of yards short, 2nd and 2.
Brought down by number 2.
8 seconds left on the clock as the Apaches take a timeout. They might have time to run one more play before attempting a field goal. Right now leading the Lee Volunteers 27-10. It's kind of been somewhat of a sloppy first half, Stu. I think we're up to 5 turnovers combined now, multiple penalties, big plays being nullified by penalties, but yet 37 points going on the board.
At least 4 fumbles, a couple of extra points missed, and of course that big run that Warfield had could have been a 71-yard touchdown, got nullified for a penalty, and yeah, we've seen a combination of everything, Jay. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, an interception to go on top of it by Seabold. So it's been a little sloppy, but I think you can really see that this Apache ball club can be really good. If they clean up some of these mistakes, quit putting the ball on the ground, stop committing penalties, they're going to be tough to beat because, Khalil Warfield is just an incredibly talented quarterback. You've got Armstrong at receiver. You got Felix at running back. On the defensive side of the ball, they're big and fast and strong. I think this Apache team is going to surprise some people. Maybe not surprise them, but make a run is what I'm saying.
Well, Warfield is a pretty good signal caller, I think. Very smart, very athletic indeed. And, of course, Felix, a guy who knows where to be when he has to make a big play. And Fertitta, he's been doing mainly a lot of blocking. He's had a couple of big plays tonight, catching a 14-yarder, scoring a 51-yarder. So I wouldn't be surprised if Coach Fusak has a few other tricks up his sleeve before not only this time, but before the season comes to an end.
They are really measuring this out for whatever reason. I didn't think he was anywhere near the first down, but they've called for a measurement. And apparently he is right near a first down, but not quite there. Still showing 2nd and 1. Well, now they put 13 seconds on the clock.
So added 5 extra seconds. It was originally 8 seconds to go, but now 13. But time for 1, maybe 2 plays, depending on what happens. If they do try to pass and there's an incompletion, they still have time for another play. But let's see what Coach Fusak is going to instruct Khalil Warfield on this coming play on this drive.
Well, as much confidence as he has in Warfield, maybe something on a run-pass option. And now the Lee Volunteers are going to take a timeout. We'll take it with them. 27-10 with 13 seconds to go. It's an Apache lead. You're watching and listening to Antonian Apache football presented by the Lind Company on TexasSportsProductions.com.
Hi folks, Joel Dolly here with the Mission Open Air Market. Our 2-year expansion plan's over. The Mission Open Air Market has added acres and acres of free parking and the best bargains in all of Texas. Remember, that's the Mission Open Air Market, open every Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'll see you here.
Lind Company is proud to host the Traveling Wall as they dedicate their Vietnam War Museum. The public is invited to visit a traveling version of the Vietnam Veterans War Memorial that will serve as a backdrop for the opening of the new Vietnam War Museum in Chavano Park and is available for viewing 24/7 from October 10th through the 13th. Several speakers, including 2 retired generals, will honor the museum's dedication on Friday, October 11th at 4:45. Please join us at Lind's new headquarters at 4001 Pond Hill Road in Chavano Park.
Back here at Antonian Field, 2nd and 1 for Antonian on the Lee 22-yard line. Empty backfield. Warfield is going to throw toward the end zone, and that ball is incomplete. The intended receiver that time looks like it was Diego Arteaga, and alongside along the far side for Antonian, it was Maddox McDonald, but it was overthrown. 3rd and 1 at the 22. A time for maybe another play or two with 10 seconds remaining in the first half with Antonian being up 27-10, Jay.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine being able to throw the football and only 3 seconds come off the clock, but that's the situation, which gives Antonian an opportunity at two more plays here.
Fertitta this time to left flat, and he's going to go for Fertitta, but instead it was caught by Armstrong for the touchdown. First it looked like Fertitta was going to be the intended target, but a nice fake by Warfield because Fertitta was out in the left flat, but instead he found Brian Armstrong in the end zone. A 22-yard touchdown pass with 5 seconds remaining in this football game.
Well, Armstrong's combination of size and speed and athleticism is what led to that touchdown right there. Armstrong just high-pointing that ball, going up the ladder, getting it, and being more aggressive, quite honestly, than the defensive back was about going after that football. And you got to hand it to Armstrong. And obviously Warfield, with the confidence in his receiver, just throwing it up there, letting his guy go get it.
11th reception for Armstrong this year, his 4th touchdown. Now here's the extra point by Arteaga. It is up and the extra point is good. 22-yard pass from Warfield to Armstrong with only 5 seconds remaining in the half. The extra point by Arteaga is good. And now the Apaches with a 34-10 lead with only 5 seconds remaining in the first half.
Yeah, 34 to 10. It's a nice homecoming night when you can go out and do this. We broadcast the Brennan John Jay Mustang game last night, and it was Brendan's homecoming. You know, back when I was in high school, homecoming was in October. You know, you played 5-6 games, and back in those days, we really only played on Friday nights. There weren't so many schools. It's just weird to have a homecoming this early in the season, but the Apaches are taking advantage of the night, taking advantage of the excitement to build a 24-point halftime lead over the Lee Volunteers, who seem to have, the Lee Volunteers have tried to grab that momentum back a couple of times tonight, but the Apaches each time have come back with a scoring drive of their own.
And, of course, Lee had shot themselves on the foot a couple of times as well there, Jay, as Jeremiah Shelton and Robert Delgado back to receive on their own 10 as Lee goes from left to right. And Arteaga will kick off from his own 40 with only 5 seconds to go. So no doubt the special team defense in front of those two men back deep are going to have to do some blocking and try to make sure that nobody gets tackled. Oh, it looks like we got a penalty, and it's going to be against Antonian.
Congratulations.
Or actually, I beg your pardon, against
the Volunteers.
The lead, I beg your pardon.
15-yard must have been unsportsmanlike or roughing or some sort of personal foul, but, you know, another mistake by the Lee Volunteers, although 5 seconds to go. But now the Apaches could just kick this out of the back of the end zone, and you don't even have a chance to run it back.
5 seconds to go. Arteaga running toward the football. It's going to be an onside kick. And this one's going to be taken at the 20-yard line. And there's no time on the clock as the ball is stopped at the 19-yard line. The man who ran the ball that time for Lee, it was Adrian Gomez, but the clock sounds off, ending the first half. So we're going to have summary coming up in a moment, talking about the first half as both teams heading to the locker room right now. One half for the books here at Antonian Field in San Antonio. The score at halftime, the Antonian Apaches 34, the Lee Volunteers 10. All we do is take a break, and we'll discuss what happened in the first half as we will take a little break. As I mentioned, you're listening to high school football via Texas Sports Productions.
Do you know what optimism can do? Whatever it wants. We've seen it unlock resilience that makes the impossible inevitable, inspire generosity to put families back on their feet, and give Davids courage to throw rocks at Goliaths. At Frost, we believe optimism can change lives emotionally, physically, and financially. And with your help, we're going to prove it.
Hello, I'm Dr. Kellum with KellumConnectMD.com. How can I make you feel better today?
If your goal is to make life less hectic, then KellumConnectMD.com is for you. For those non-emergency ailments, log on to KellumConnectMD.com and see a licensed medical professional from your home or office. No driving, no waiting rooms. With KellumConnectMD.com, there's no need to miss work or school or spend hours at a minor emergency clinic. Get medical care online and on time at KellumConnectMD.com.
Hi folks, Joel Dolly here with the Mission Open Air Market. Our 2-year expansion plan's over. The Mission Open Air Market has added acres and acres of free parking and the best bargains in all of Texas. Remember, that's the Mission Open Air Market, open every Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'll see you here.
The Lind Company of San Antonio is about creating an amazing living experience for their residents, an experience that isn't perfectly described with words, but is felt the minute you walk through their doors. They strive to maintain an environment where memories are built and life happens. Their team applies advanced education and real-world experience to provide excellent real estate services in acquisitions, asset management, development, and investment. Learn more at lynd.com. Lind, your home, our passion.
Pessimism doesn't stand a chance because people are stepping up. People who look forward and give back. People with paintbrushes and hellos and handshakes and time for each other. And one small act at a time, strangers become neighbors. Helping becomes a habit. And together we watch and wait and work to see what else optimism can do.
Hello, I'm Dr. Kellum with KellumConnectMD.com. How can I make you feel better today?
There was a time when doctors made house calls. They do again at KellumConnectMD.com. Non-emergency illness? Simply go online to KellumConnectMD.com. In minutes, you can book an appointment and see a licensed medical professional, all from the comfort of your own home or office. Your life is busy enough. Don't spend it at the doctor's office. Get medical care online and on time at KellumConnectMD.com.
And welcome back to an Antonian Apache Stadium, just outside the loop on West Avenue. And The Lee Volunteer Band has taken the field. Yet your halftime score is Antonian 34, Lee 10. And right now we're gonna give you a good view of the Lee Volunteer Band. Just sit back and relax and enjoy the show. and that is the Lee Volunteer Band, and your halftime score of the Antonian Apaches 34, the Lee Volunteers 10. We'll be back in just a moment with the Antonian Apache Band and homecoming festivities in just a moment. You're watching and listening to Antonian Apache Football, presented by the Lind Company on TexasSportsProductions.com.
Lind Company is proud to host the Traveling Wall as they dedicate their Vietnam War Museum. The public is invited to visit a traveling version of the Vietnam Veterans War Memorial that will serve as a backdrop for the opening of the new Vietnam War Museum in Chavano Park and is available for viewing 24/7 from October 10th through the 13th. Several speakers, including 2 retired generals, will honor the museum's dedication on Friday, October 11th at 4:45. Please join us at Lind's new headquarters at 4001 Pond Hill Road in Chavano Park.
Hi, I'm Joel Dolly, and welcome to the Mission Open Air Market. You'll find acres and acres of bargains on toys, tools, clothing, and we've even got a farmer's market every Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday. You'll never know what you're going to find, and I'll see you here.
Hello, I'm Dr. Kellum with KellumConnectMD.com. How can I make you feel better today?
There was a time when doctors made house calls. They do again at KellumConnectMD.com. Non-emergency illness? Simply go online to KellumConnectMD.com. In minutes, you can book an appointment and see a licensed medical professional, all from the comfort of your own home or office. Your life is busy enough. Don't spend it at the doctor's office. Get medical care online and on time at KellumConnectMD.com.
Pessimism doesn't stand a chance. Because people are stepping up. People who look forward and give back. People with paintbrushes and hellos and handshakes and time for each other. And one small act at a time, strangers become neighbors. Helping becomes a habit. And together we watch and wait and work to see what else optimism can do.
Two different products that lower the temperature in your cooling system.
Great for bugs on the front of the car.
You got your wax here, you got your power wax. Generators, pressure washers, lawnmowers, you name it, they got it for it. VP Racing is now offering Antonian unleaded, which is safer for your street cars, safe for your O2 sensors, your catalytic converters, to get an increase in octane boost by pouring straight to the gas tank.
The Lind Company of San Antonio is about creating an amazing living experience for their residents. An experience that isn't perfectly described with words, but is felt the minute you walk through their doors. They strive to maintain an environment where memories are built and life happens. Their team applies advanced education and real-world experience to provide excellent real estate services in acquisitions, asset management, development, and investment. Learn more at lynd.com. Lind, your home, our passion.
And welcome back to Antonian Apache Stadium on a homecoming night for the Antonian Apaches. And we're at the half. The halftime score is the Apaches 34, the Volunteers 10. And right now you are being entertained by the Antonian Apache dance team.
welcome to the 2019 edition of the biggest, littlest band in the Southwest, your award-winning, the Mighty Apache Band! The band is under the direction of Mr. Jason Smith, Ms. Christina Hinojosa, and Ms. Samantha Villarreal. Student leaders of the band are Drum Major Christian Calzada, Drumline Captains Angelica Cantu and Ben Ramon, Hornline Captains Ian Hipp and Olivia Schneider, Color Guard Captains Nina Alvarez and Angela Rodriguez, Band Council Gabby Garcia, Nick Syons and Nina Alvarez. Our band member of the week is Thomas Porter. Color Guard member of the week is Nancy Garza. Tonight's performance will include the first movement of our 2019 production, Into the Heart of the Machine, featuring the music of Luke McMillan. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
back here at Antonian Stadium. Stu Paul along with Jay Riley, and it's a 34-10 lead for Antonian, the team that came in with a record of 2-0, and Lee with a record of 1-1. Antonian coming off a 20-8 win over the Sam Houston school last week, and Lee winning a squeaker and defeating Breckenridge by a score of 30-27. A couple of rushing touchdowns early on tonight by Chance Felix. One that was 47 yards, another that was 13 yards. And of course, Khalil Warfield had himself a pretty good run as well. And here's some stats for Antonian. They rushed for 212 yards, and they had passed for 75 yards. Lee, however, was held to just 81 yards in rushing, and for passing, only 34 yards. Chance Felix, as I mentioned, 2 touchdowns, carried the ball 6 times for 90 yards. Khalil Warfield, 8 carries for 51 yards, including a touchdown. And Warfield didn't do too badly. 5 out of 10 for 1 touchdown, and again 75 yards. Ryan Armstrong with 2 receptions for 21 yards. For Lee, William Seabold carried 10 times for 43 yards. Todd Tellisford with 10 carries for just 37 yards, so a good job by the defense of Antonian. William Seabold, not a good night thus far for him. 3 out of 10, and he had been intercepted 1 time for Lee. And Jeremiah also with 1 field goal. Jeremiah Shelton with 1 for 15 yards reception. Jeremiah Shelton with 1 reception. So just a little bit under 4 minutes and 20 seconds remaining to start the second half, and a pretty good job by the band on both sides. And I don't know if you've noticed, Jay Riley, but we did have a couple of cheerleaders doing some gymnastics as far as their hands, twirling, I should say, with fire. Have you ever seen anything like that before? Because I haven't. I was just worried. Don't drop it. Don't get on your clothes, or otherwise she's going to have a problem. But 2 of them twirling 2 batons set on fire. I've never seen that before in my life.
That's living on the edge there.
Yes.
Stu, we got some scores from across the city tonight. Last night, Brennan defeated John Jay 49-7, I believe that one was. I was there. Almost at the end of the first half, Clemens leads Reagan 21-7. Lavernia at half trailing LaGrange 22-14. Alamo Heights has a 14-7 lead over East Central. And Fall City, who started the season number 2 in the state in 2A, lost their game last week to Poth fairly convincingly, and right now trail Stockdale at the half 3-0. The Judson Rockets having no problems with the Harlingen Cardinals 26-0. Almost 8 minutes to go in the third quarter there. The Bernie Greyhounds with a 14-0 lead over Holy Cross. Harlandale having their way with Kennedy almost to the half there, 36-0 Harlandale. Laredo United with a 21-3 lead over San Marcos. And, of course, our game here at the half, Antonian 34, the Lee Volunteers 10.
Well, you mentioned about Lee having the first possession at the start of the second half. We know what they have to do. Like you pointed out, cutting down the mistakes, trying to keep their poise, which unfortunately they have not been able to do. William Seapolt has not gotten the protection that he is hoping for because his offensive line has been rushed, especially by a very talented Antonian team that has a pretty good front four, starting with Devin Grant, Christian Alanis, Diego Artiago, who has really done a good job being all over the place, and Jake McGrath, who's made a couple of tackles. They got to have better protection for Seabolt and also give an opportunity for Tellisford to try to carry the ball a little bit more, but they have to have a score immediately, not only because they're down by 24, but for their own confidence, for their own momentum, to try to get themselves back in the game mentally and emotionally.
Yeah, this is what non-district is all about, going out and working out these kinks. Obviously, you want to win those football games, but Lee still has their goals and all that in front of them. I mean, it really matters when you get into district play. But they've got to fix some things. Last week they had a lot of penalties and had a few turnovers. They were able to win against Sam Houston last week. The week before that, they had an abysmal game against the Taft Raiders, and the Taft Raiders really put it on them. But again, penalties and turnovers there. Here tonight, already 3 turnovers in the first half. I don't have a penalties number, but I bet it's 6, 7, 8 penalties. And at crucial times when they pick up a big play, there's a penalty against the Volunteers, and it negates that play. So Danny Cloza is a great football coach. He's a super nice guy. He's going to get this team operating more efficiently come district time. He needs to start that here in the second half.
Oh, without any question, and I still certainly like a couple of their players. Definitely Delgado, I think, is a pretty good receiver, and Shelton. In the meantime, we only have seconds remaining before we start the second half, so we'll take a short break. It is almost the start of the third quarter. Antonian up 34-10 over Lee. We'll be back for the third quarter action right after this.
The Linda Company of San Antonio is about creating an amazing living experience for their residents. An experience that isn't perfectly described with words, but is felt the minute you walk through their doors. They strive to maintain an environment where memories are built and life happens. Their team applies advanced education and real-world experience to provide excellent real estate services in acquisitions, asset management, development, and investment. Learn more at lynd.com. Lind, your home, our passion.
Hi, I'm Joel Dolly, and welcome to the Mission Open Air Market. It's been a long time since the Mission Drive-In days, and we've grown to over 60 acres of the biggest bargains in Texas. Remember this every Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday, and I'll see you here.
Hello, I'm Dr. Kellum with KellumConnectMD.com. How can I make you feel better today?
If your goal is to make life less hectic, then KellumConnectMD.com is for you. For those non-emergency ailments, log on to KellumConnectMD.com and see a licensed medical professional from your home or office. No driving, no waiting rooms. With KellumConnectMD.com, there's no need to miss work or school or spend hours at a minor emergency clinic. Get medical care online and on time at KellumConnectMD.com.
Do you know what optimism can do? Whatever it wants. We've seen it unlock resilience that makes the impossible inevitable, inspire generosity to put families back on their feet, and give Davids courage to throw rocks at Goliaths. At Frost, we believe optimism can change lives emotionally, physically, and financially. And with your help, we're going to prove it.
Back here at the start of the third quarter, Stu Paul along with Jay Riley, and the Apaches with a 34-10 lead. And Diego Arteaga will kick off from his own 40 as the Volunteers will move from right to left. Jeremiah Shelton and Robert Delgado back deep. They're standing along their 8-yard line. And again, this first drive, as Jay and I discussed, very important for this lead team. They can ill afford to make any mistakes. They have to do is move the ball up in a hurry and then try to avoid the penalties, as Arteaga, slight angle to the left, standing on his own 30 right now, will run up to the 40. Here he goes. Here comes the football downfield. Line drive type kick, and it's going to go over the head of Shelton. It's going to bounce back into the end zone for a touchback.
All right, it's time to talk about what goes on with the John Wayne Player of the Game. Before this game is over, you need to go to johnwayne.com, pick who you think Stu and I are going to pick from this game to be Player of the Game. Just voting gets you entered in a $10,000 home makeover giveaway. And if you pick the same one that Stu and I pick, you get a John Wayne Player of the Game hat. So before the game is over, you got to do it before the end of the game.
Seabold takes the snap, first and 10, but hold on, we do have a stop and should play.
We can't have any more penalties, but dadgummit, we're going to do it right up. Illegal procedure called against the Volunteers. That's going to back them up 5 yards. coming right out of halftime. You know, Coach Closa really got them focused in, tried to tell him you got to be more disciplined, boys, and right out of the box, 5 yards against them.
First and 50 at the 20. Bad snap, but Siebold keeps it in his hands. Now being rushed, running to the near side. He's going to the 15 under pressure, throwing, and that is batted, and I'm not sure if it was intercepted by Arteaga or not. But, oh, my goodness, what a play by Diego Arteaga. And Siebold was under pressure. And keep in mind, he had trouble handling that bad snap. And once he had trouble, it looked like he was never able to set himself up under pressure. And Arteaga, boy, that was a big play indeed.
Yeah, it just looked like Siebold, once he realized he wasn't going to pick up any yardage, was just going to throw it away. And threw it right into the hands of an Antonian defender, and now it's 1st and 10. I think that's the 4th turnover of the night for the Lee Volunteers. 2 fumbles and 2 interceptions.
It'll slide Bryce McDonald.
Whoa.
And look out, trying to get the ball that time, but to no chance at all. Speaking of chance, was Chance Felix, who tried to go off right tackle immediately and got stopped at the line of scrimmage by Jay Cochran, one of the linebackers for Lee. That was a good hit by Cochran on Felix, who had no chance at all.
Yeah, Cochran came in on a blitz, obviously, got into the backfield and blew that play up, tackled Felix for a couple of yard loss.
Armstrong to the near right side, 2nd and 10 at the 20-yard line. Taking a step, fakes the draw. Khalil throws, incomplete. Armstrong had it at the 10-yard line, and right there was number 21 for the Lee Volunteers, who was there on the defense, Abraham Pruneda, one of the secondary men. That's going to bring up a 3rd down and long for this Apache team.
Yeah, Brian Armstrong will be the first one to tell you he should have caught that ball. That was a great pass by Warfield. Armstrong expected to catch it. He'd expect to catch that 99 out of 100 times, and that one just off his hands, falls incomplete. 3rd down.
3rd down along the 27-yard line. And now trying to race up is Warfield. Warfield spinning, trying to go across the 25-yard line and makes it down to the 23. Pick up maybe only 4 yards, and that's it.
I think that's Cochran again there. Jack Cochran, the senior, in there. It looked like no one was going to be able to tackle Warfield on that play as he picked his way and powered his way through. And then Cochran finally came up and wrapped him up and took him to the ground. Brings up a 4th and 7. But as expected, the Antonian Apaches are going to go for it here.
3 1-outs to the far left side. Taking a stop. Warfield dump pass caught by Fertitta. Fertitta downfield at 20. He's to 15. He's to the 10. But it's knocked out of bounds at about the 9-yard line. He needed 7. Picked up 13 yards on the play. It'll be 1st and goal to go for the Apaches on the Lee 9-yard line.
Fertitta seems to be the forgotten man by defenses. When we were here in week 1 and Antonian was taking on Seguin, Fertitta had one of those nights where you didn't see anything, and then boom, 30-yard pass play. Boom, 40-yard pass play. And tonight he's broken off a long run, I believe it was 51 yards, and then has caught a couple of passes for 1st downs as well.
Ramirez to slot left, fake, and now Warfield will throw toward the end zone. And that one is incomplete, intended by Isaiah Ramirez. He faked the handoff and then trying to go to his left, faked the option, trying to throw downfield on the play action, but it's incomplete. It'll be 2nd down and goal to go for Antonian on the Lee 9-yard line with 10:22 to go in the 3rd quarter. Antonian with the ball in the 34-10 lead.
I'm not sure Warfield wouldn't have picked up more yardage had he just held on to that ball and kept running. It looked like he had some room to run, but the receiver was open in the end zone, just a little inaccurate with the pass as he rolled to his left.
Felix in the backfield, hand off to Felix. Felix tried to go off left tackle as he makes his way inside the 10 and all the way down to about the 6-yard line, but only picking up 3 yards of the play. It'll be 3rd down and goal to go for Antonian on the Lee 6.
Antonian looking to cash in another turnover. 4 turnovers so far tonight for the Volunteers, and Antonian has cashed in all the other 3 so far.
Felix and Fertitta, pro set. Now a pass on 3rd down, and that's caught by Armstrong. Did he stay in bounds? Yes, touchdown. Just inside the right corner. Armstrong catching a 6-yard pass, his second TD of the night with 9:43 remaining in the third. Antonian leading by a score of 40-10.
Does not surprise me in the least to see them go to that play. Armstrong has great leaping ability. He's strong, he's tall, and just to throw that ball up there, most of the time a defensive back is going to have his back to the quarterback playing man coverage. And Armstrong, again, climbs the ladder, goes up and high points the pass, and catches the touchdown pass. Folks, I don't know who to tell you to go and maybe go to johnwayne.com for player of the game right now, because there's several candidates for player of the game, and Stu and I are going to have to slug it out in here to figure out who we're going to. I mean, you got Felix, you got Armstrong, you got Warfield, you got Fertitta.
Point toss, baby.
It's going to be a hard one, but you need to go to johnwayne.com and try to figure that one out and see who you are going to pick, because you have to do it before the end of the game. Go to johnwayne.com, get entered in that $10,000 home makeover giveaway.
Arteaga with the extra point, and it's now a 41-10 lead. Armstrong with his second touchdown of the night. And for Bryant Armstrong, that is his 5th touchdown of the year, as Arteaga will kick off from his own 40-yard line. Once again, the Volunteers will move from right to left. Shelton out there. Deep man along with Jeremiah. Shelton, I should say, Robert Delgado, actually, as a slant angles to the left by Arteaga. 41-10 on Antonian. Here's a line drive kick. And this one's going to be over the head of Shelton once again, and another touchback. So on the second time on the kick return, it was kicked into the end zone for a touchback. So Lee will take over 1st and 10 of their own 25 with 9:43 remaining in the third quarter. And Lee trailing Antonian big 41-10.
Well, nothing's changed. Lee still has to cut back on the mistakes and penalties and turnovers and things like that, and try to get some consistency and some confidence going.
Seabolt with a pass to near side, caught by Delgado. Delgado spinning at the 20, going to the 25 as he goes from right to left, and he is stopped at about the 27-yard line. Maybe only 2 yards will bring up 2nd and 8.
Well, I think the thing that you have to smile about if you're on the Lee volunteer staff is there was no penalty and there was no turnover on that play. So 2 yards is very positive compared to what's happened the last couple times they've touched the ball.
It's about the 28, 2nd and 7. Here's a quarterback option. Seabolt trying to make his way upfield, spinning toward the 30 and going inside the 35 down to the 36-yard line. So it looks like I think he does have enough for the first down, and does. He needed 7, he got 8, so it's going to be a 1st down and 10 for Lee, and it's a hurry-up offense. They're at the 36-yard line. One man in the backfield along with Seabolt. Waits takes the snap, hands off to Telford. Telford trying to go off right tackle, but he doesn't get much as he is able to make his way down to the 39, maybe picking up a couple of yards.
Yeah, it's positive gains here, though. It's kind of what they started to look like at the end of the first half before the turnover that led to the Antonian touchdown. They were running the ball pretty well. Seabolt, I really like what he brings as his game. He made a mistake on the last series, should have never thrown that ball, but he's had a really good night, a really tough running night.
Takes a snap, fakes, now throwing to the far side, and that ball is incomplete. And the intended receiver that time out of the right flat for the Lee Volunteers looked like it was Alan Hernandez, I believe, that was the intended receiver. But that's going to bring up now a 3rd down and 7 at about the 39-yard line of the Volunteers. 2 wideouts to the near left side. Telford in the backfield along with Seabolt, calling signals, takes the snap, dropping back to throw under pressure. Pass batted and almost intercepted that time. Oh, what a play by Antonian's Devin Grant, who was in the face of Seabold, and he almost came away with an A.J. Dewey type of interception. Remember back in '83 against the Jets, against Richard Todd, when he caught one right before he released and ran for a touchdown. He nearly did the same thing that time, Jay.
Yeah, there was several Antonian Apaches coming through there. Seabold was under duress in a hurry, and he threw that ball out there, and I don't know how it wasn't intercepted, but fortunately for the Volunteers, it falls to the ground, and it's punting time.
Rodriguez will have to kick, and that ball is going to bounce around the midfield stripe, and somewhere along the 47-yard line of Antonian, and that's where they'll spot it. We'll take a break in the action with 8 minutes and 6 seconds remaining in the third quarter from Antonian Stadium. It is Antonian 41, Lee 10. This is high school football, courtesy of Texas Sports Productions.
Two different products that lower the temperature in your cooling system.
Great for bugs on the front of the car.
You got your wax here, you got your power wax. Generators, pressure washers, lawnmowers, you name it, they got it for it. VP Racing is now offering Antonian unleaded, which is safer for your street cars, safe for your O2 sensors, your catalytic converters, to get an increase in octane boost by pouring straight to the gas tank.
Pessimism doesn't stand a chance because people are stepping up. People who look forward and give back. People with paintbrushes and hellos and handshakes and time for each other. And one small act at a time, strangers become neighbors. Helping becomes a habit. And together we watch and wait and work to see what else optimism can do.
And Shelton back deep now to receive. They're standing close to their own goal line. Here comes Ardiaga down with the football. A very short kick. It's going to take a bounce. And it's Shelton at the 20. Shelton up the middle. 25 finds hold to 35. 40 breaks the tackle. Still on his feet despite slipping. Goes to the 45. Down to the 48-yard line. Running almost half the field for the Lee Volunteers. That was probably the best play we have seen thus far tonight. Unbelievable. So they're in very good field position, the Lee Volunteers. They spot the ball at the 49-yard line. First down and 10. 7:25 remaining in the third quarter. I'm Stu Paul along with Jay Riley, and the Volunteers have their work cut out for them. We have said it many times. Sounds like a broken record, but can't seem to catch the momentum. First and 10 to 49, 3-1 outs to the near left side. And it's going to be Seabold that's going to take it on the quarterback option, going to the midfield stripe. Seabold going to the far right side and finally knocked down and out of bounds to the 46-yard line. That's going to bring up second down and 4. So Seabolt trying to find somebody and was not able to do so. He has had a very difficult time trying to find men downfield as we got 3 wideouts to the near left side. And just right now, 3 men in front for Antonian. Handoff to Gray. I beg your pardon, not Gray. Going off right tackle that time for the Volunteers. Number 23 for Lee. That was Robert Muniz. Muniz was able to make it inside the 40 down to the 38-yard line. Good enough for a first down. Hurry up offense again. 3 men to the left side. First attempt for Lee on the Antonian 38. One flag on the right side. Here's a pass caught by Delgado. The 40. Delgado downfield. He's to the 35. He's to the 30 and knocked out of bounds at the 27-yard line. I beg your pardon. Curran strode. And
Delgado on the
was Delgado.
Strode on the. It was 8-on-8 violence is what it was.
Gotcha. Yep. 6:34 to go in the third quarter. Hurry up offense again. Seabolt will take it himself. Quarterback option going to his left. Look out. He's going to get spun around and knocked down. The 2 men that brought him down for Antonian that time, Isaiah Trujillo, one of the linebackers, and joining him, Nick Farmer, the other linebackers. So 2 linebackers bringing down Seabolt to try the quarterback option. So it's going to bring up a second down at about 2. And now Seabolt with a swing pass to the right side, incomplete. The pass intended that time out at the right flat. Robert Delgado, he was all alone. The pass was a little bit high, Jay, but honestly, I felt it still could have been caught. But again, at the same time, Seabolt, not the best pass in the world on that lateral.
Yeah, as we see the replay here, you'll see the replay tomorrow. Wasn't that bad a pass, and it looked like Delgado probably could have had it. Not sure it goes very far if he does catch it anyway, but this is a 3rd and 12 here for Seabolt.
On the 28 of Antonian, then the pocket is Seabolt rushed, throwing to the far side, look out, and he tried to get rid of the ball, but he was brought down that time by Jake McGrath and a fumble. It looks like I think Antonian has recovered. Boy, what a hit that time by McGrath as Seabolt tried to get rid of it, but couldn't hang on to it, and then good pressure by McGrath, forcing it another turnover.
Here we go. You'll see the replay tomorrow, but Seabolt is running for his life. McGrath comes from behind and slaps the ball out of his hands. Ball rolls right into the feet of a couple of Apaches, and the ball gets turned over. 5th turnover for the Lee Volunteers tonight. Looks like we're going to have Zach Schwalen come in at quarterback. He quarterbacked some in the first half, and Warfield gets a little break here with a 47-10 lead.
And well earned that time. Handoff looks like, I believe that's Ramirez going to the 40 to the 45, is able to try to get to the 45, but I beg your pardon, Nick Farmer, as I'm mixing up the rosters here, and Farmer tried to go off right tackle and was able to get himself 8 yards to the play. It'll be 2nd and 2 now for Antonian on their own 46.
Yeah, just trying to run the clock, make first downs, but shorten this game up quite a bit. 47-10 right now, and just trying to get to the head to the barn, I guess, so to speak, for the Antonian Apaches.
Appleby way out to left, 1 man in the slot that time. And trying to go off left tackle again was Nick Farmer, but Farmer didn't really get too much. And Sincere Morgan was there to make the stop for the Volunteers. So Farmer trying to carry for the second time. He's getting some chances right now. The previous one was good, but not that time. It'll be 3rd and 2 at the 46 as he was stopped on the line of scrimmage, he meaning Farmer.
Well, a team like the Antonian Apaches is looking at making a pretty good playoff run, and so you want everybody to have some experience, and you also want to keep your top guys nice and healthy. So running in a second-string quarterback, and, of course, Farmer getting some playing time.
Play action, and now here's a pass by Schwalen, and that ball is caught and almost dropped that time. And Marcus Lozano was there to scoop it up, and a good shoestring-like catch, and it's good enough for a first down for Antonian as they spot the ball now at about the Lee 48-yard line.
Yeah, this is what Antonian wants to do. Pick up first downs, keep the drives going, keep that clock running. 37-point lead right here. And Schwalen Almost threw that one just a little bit too short, but able to still catch it and pick up the first down.
2 outs to the right side, 1 to the left. Schwellen handing off to Farmer, getting a block from Fertitta. Tries to go off right side and then trying to go up the middle again, but Farmer is stopped at about the 45-yard line, picking up 3 yards on the play as Evan Pledger applied the hit that time for Lee.
Yeah, did he? That certainly would qualify as a pick and pull collision on that one. If you see, he just running around the right side, and then a great hit by Pledger. I think last night Bobby Stotzenberger said on a pick and pull collision that collision like that, you will need new parts.
He pledged to hit him good that time, part of the punt.
Yes.
2nd and 8 now for Antonian on the lead, 46-1, wide out to the left. Hand off to Farmer again. Farmer gets tripped up, but then he couldn't go far, and he tried to go off left tackle as Josh Johnson, one of the secondary men, was able to haul him down. So 2 consecutive plays, but no gain on the play. So it's going to bring up 3rd and 9. Now they say it's a loss as they spot the ball at the 47-yard line with just under 3 to go in the third quarter from Antonian Stadium. Apaches of Antonian lead 47-10.
Well, you got to like the fight in the Volunteers. They haven't given up. They're still fighting tooth and nail, tackling in the backfield, chasing guys down, delivering hits like we saw Pledger do just a few plays ago. So Danny Close has got his team playing hard.
Play action. Schwalen now looking, now running to near right side. Going to throw long, and that pass was incomplete. Way over the head that time of the intended receiver, and that was Isaiah Ramirez, who was out of the right flat. He tried to fake and then had some time, just made a bad pass. So it's going to be 4th down and long, and Antonian, one of the rare occasions where they have to punt the football away.
Yeah, they certainly don't want to give the Volunteers anything that would aid them in any kind of comeback, which here would be good field position if they didn't pick up the 4th down try. So they're going to drop back, punt it down, and make the Lee Volunteers go 80-plus yards.
Delgado standing near his own 15. And Delgado will take it at the 15, but he fumbles the ball. But Lee was able to recover that time. But because of that fumble, they lose a couple of extra yards. The man who pounced on the football that time for Lee was Evan Pledger. Remember when he made that hit, and here it is as we see it. And boy, I'll tell you, the Volunteers did catch a break that time.
Yep, just takes his eyes off the ball as it comes down. Armstrong, I guess he's a three-way player. He's playing defense. He's obviously spectacular on offense, and now special teams play right there to cover it up.
1st and 10, the 11-yard line. Seabold will take it himself off right tackle. Seabold was able to go to the 15-yard line and is stopped there, maybe getting only a couple of, maybe 4 yards to the play perhaps. They'll bring up 2nd down and 6.
Well, it might bring up 1st down and longer because a flag came in right at the end of that play. Not sure if it was a face mask or a block in the back maybe. Could go either way at this point.
I see the hanky near the 17-yard line where the hit was made.
Here's the call. Yep, face mask.
And that's going to be against Antonian. That's going to move the Volunteers upfield. So finally, the Volunteers with their biggest break of the night.
Yeah, that's a big 15-yard penalty there. Moves the ball up, got an automatic 1st down, and Seabold locked and loaded to go on the next set of downs.
3 wideouts to the left side, 1st and 30, dropping back on a 1st down. Seabold and his pass, and that ball looks like it was caught and taken somewhere at the 35-yard line. It was Evan Cantu, one of the wideouts, that made the catch and picking up some short yardage. They do spot the ball at the 36, where it'll be 2nd down and about 4.
6 yards on 1st down is a good deal. You're ahead of schedule.
3 wideouts to the far right side. Cantu in the slot right. Seabold taking the handoff, will carry himself off the middle, off left tackle to 40, downfield to 50. He may go all the way. One man to beat to the 30. He's to 20. He's to 15 to 10. He's to the 5. He's in for the touchdown. Oh man, I'll tell you, he almost got knocked out of bounds that time. Nick Farmer came very close to tackling him at about the 2, but Siebold said, "Oh, no, you don't." Or
it was
actually
Isaiah Ramirez that had him
I thought.
tracked down, and I thought was going to get him out of bounds. But Siebold, I really like this young man. He's played hard all night long. Yeah, he's made a mistake or two, but look at this play. Follows his blocking well. You'll be able to see the replay. Oh, my goodness gracious.
What happened here?
I am sorry, but Siebold's run of 64 yards is going to be negated due to another penalty.
Both quarterbacks, Khalil Warfield and William Siebold, had runs of more than 60 yards, like you said. A 64-yard run negated the 71-yard run that Warfield made. And again, penalties are hurting. The Volunteers will take a timeout as well. Break the action with only 1:19 remaining in the third quarter from Antonian Stadium. It is Antonian 47, Lee 10. Jay and I will be back. This is high school football courtesy of Texas Sports Production.
Do you know what optimism can do? Whatever it wants. We've seen it unlock resilience that makes the impossible inevitable, inspire generosity to put families back on their feet, and give Davids courage to throw rocks at Goliaths. At Frost, we believe optimism can change lives emotionally, physically, and financially. And with your help, we're going to prove it.
Our John Wayne Player of the Week. John Wayne, player of the week.
Back here at Antonian Stadium, 64-yard touchdown nullified. And now 1st and 10th, the 43-yard line. Siebold will throw it a first down, but a pass a little bit wide, incomplete. Intended receiver that time looked like it was Jeremiah Shelton, and he was so alone, but that throw a little bit behind him. It's going to bring up 2nd and 10th, the 43. And again, sometimes you have to blame the quarterback. Bad pass, but at the same time, it looked like it was a catchable ball despite that bad pass there, Jay. 2nd and 10, one man in motion. Siebold with a wide pass to the far side. This ball is caught and going across the 35 and about the 38-yard line. It was Ezekiel Eldridge, the running back, in for the first time tonight. So he spot the ball at about the 38-yard line. And we have just under a minute to go. They're going to go for it on 4th down, 4th and long, to 38 of Lee. Siebold down. Will take it himself, and Siebold gets hit hard at the far side as he gets only a couple of yards down to the 40, but that's not going to do Lee any good as we have only 44 seconds to go, and Antonian's going to take over. It's going to be a first down.
They marked him down for a first down.
Oh, I beg your pardon. I thought he was a little bit short. Yeah, they said he had enough of the distance. Thank you there, Jay.
He took a shot right at the end. He earned it.
Oh, yeah, and he was able to get it. Good enough for a first down, 1st and 10th, the 41-yard line. 3-1 out to the near left side. Siebold, empty backfield, pump faking. Siebold throwing downfield. And this pass is intercepted by the Apaches. It was intended that time for Shelton. The man who made the interception was Maddox McDonald. Maddox McDonald intercepted the ball around the 35, raced up the field to the 40, and he was wrestled very hard by Shelton that time.
Yeah, Siebold went with a pump fake to try to draw the Antonian defenders up for the short pass. They just never bid on it at all. And Siebold's pass a little short, and that enabled McDonald to slide up underneath and get that interception for the 6th turnover of the night.
Shelton slammed it very hard, but I know he had to be frustrated because that pass was intended for him. And now the Apaches take over, 1st and 10th, their own 42 with just 15 seconds to go. Time for maybe 1 or 2 more plays. And Schwalen is going to hand off left tackle to the far side, taking the ball with only 8 seconds to go. And trying to go to the far left side out of bounds. And I think it might have been Eric Diaz. So we have only 6 seconds remaining. And
saw another penalty flag fly.
Oh, boy.
The
That's why I
officials are
hesitate.
discussing it. 6 seconds to go in the third quarter. We'll take a break as soon as the quarter ends, but right now the officials discussing exactly what the infraction is. And here comes the white hat to let us know what the flag is. It's typically going to be in the area of holding against the Apaches. So, and a face mask against the Lee Volunteers. The penalties are going to offset, and we'll play first down all over again.
Lee has to be muttering themselves again there, Jay.
You know, you get an opportunity to back up the Apaches 10 yards on first down, and you commit the face mask penalty at the same time.
So the Apaches will keep the ball. Offsetting penalties, first and 10th to 42 as time has run out, ending the third quarter. So we'll start the fourth quarter after this break. 3 quarters in the books at Antonian Stadium. It's Antonian 47 and Lee 10. Jay and I will be back. This is high school football courtesy of the Texas Sports Productions.
Hi folks, Joel Dolly here with the Mission Open Air Market. Our 2-year expansion plan's over. The Mission Open Air Market has added acres and acres of free parking and the best bargains in all of Texas. Remember, that's the Mission Open Air Market, open every Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'll see you here. Hi folks, Joel Dolly here with the Mission Open Air Market. If you're looking for some real bargains, we've got over 1,500 vendors to deal from. So come on out to the King of Bargains. You'll never know what you're going to find. The Mission Open Air Market, open every Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'll see you here.
Two different products that lower the temperature in your cooling system.
Great for bugs on the front of the car.
You got your wax here, you got your power wax. Generators, pressure washers, lawnmowers, you name it, they got it for it. VP Racing is now offering Antonian unleaded, which is safer for your street cars, safe for your O2 sensors, your catalytic converters, to get an increase in octane boost by pouring straight.
Back here for the start of the fourth quarter, Stu Paul along with Jade Riley. And Antonio with a 47-10 lead. It'll be a 2nd and 11 at the 41-yard line as the Apaches are in the huddle, and now they break out of it going from right to left. Couple of wideouts to the far right side, one man in the slot. Schwalen is in there again. Zach Schwalen calling signals with one man in the backfield. Schwalen takes the snap, hand off a right tackle going to the 40 and down to the 45-yard line. It was Gabriel Santellan. So he's getting a chance to carry the ball some, but he didn't really pick up too much yards on the play, only maybe a yard or so as they spot the 42, so it's going to bring up a 3rd down at about 9.
Wow, that was some pretty good hitting going on down there. The ball actually popped out. And it looked like number 65 for Antonian, Ty Short. The sophomore got in there and jumped on top of it.
Appleby way out to the right. 2 men in the backfield along with Schwalen, who's in the shotgun formation on the 3rd down. He's going to hand off again and blasting his way across the 40, but maybe getting a yard as he's down to the 43-yard line. And it was number 30 who had carried the ball, Eric Diaz, and making the stop. Looks like Jonathan Castiglione along with Isaiah Bosmans as well. So it's going to bring up 4th and 9, and Antonio will have to punt the football away. So I can see Robert Delgado back deep on the punt, as this ball is going to be bouncing around the 40-yard line and finally pounced on. And let's see what the line judge has spotted. He said at the 41-yard line, or I beg your pardon, the 39-yard line rather. And that's where Lee is going to take over. And we talked about it a number of times, sounding like a broken record. They cannot afford to continue to have these penalty-infested moments that has really put them not only deep in a hole, but somewhere at the bottom of a reef.
Yeah, they're going to have to fix these issues, these penalties, these turnovers. Everything that's gone wrong tonight will really be magnified when they get into district play against teams that are familiar with them. And against the Madisons, the Churchills, the Reagans, the Roosevelts, who's playing really good football right now as well.
Seabold taking the snap, dropping back to throw in the pocket, throwing down deep. He's got a man open, and that ball is caught by Shelton. Shelton to the 20. He's to the 15, and Shelton all the way down to about the 10-yard line. Boy, that was a huge pass indeed.
If you look on the replay, and you'll be able to see this tomorrow in the archives, but Seabold just waited and waited and waited, and Sheldon was wide open, and Seabold puts it in there and does the right thing, ensures he doesn't overthrow him.
Well, Maddox McDonald got his shirt on him and almost lost his grip, but was able to be on the coverage, but still it's going to be a huge first down coming up now.
Here's the replay here. We missed a play while we were doing the replay from before, and Ezekiel Eldridge able to take it into the end zone for the Lee Volunteers to give them 16 points, extra point pending.
And Rodriguez in for the extra point. Try kick is up, and the kick is good. So a run by Eldridge that time, a very good run as he went off left tackle. So a great run by Ezekiel Eldridge, and also the extra point is good. Eldridge, by the way, 5'6", 142-pounder, first touchdown. We'll take a break with 9:28 remaining in regulation time from Antonian Stadium. And it's now Antonian 47, Lee 17. Jake and I will be back. This is high school football, courtesy of Texas Sport Production.
Lind Company is proud to host the Traveling Wall as they dedicate their Vietnam War Museum. The public is invited to visit a traveling version of the Vietnam Veterans War Memorial that will serve as a backdrop for the opening of the new Vietnam War Museum in Chavano Park and is available for viewing 24/7 from October 10th through the 13th. Several speakers, including 2 retired generals, will honor the museum's dedication on Friday, October 11th at 4:45. Please join us at Lind's new headquarters at 4001 Pond Hill Road.
Hi, I'm Joel Dolly, and welcome to the Mission Open Air Market. It's been a long time since the Mission Drive-In days, and we've grown to over 60 acres of the biggest bargains in Texas. Remember this every Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday, and I'll see you here.
Road in Chavano Park.
Hi, I'm Joel Dolly, and welcome to
25-yard line. Here's Rodriguez kicking off from his own 40. It's over the head of Farmer. Farmer chasing it down, trying to get to the one, but then wisely let the ball go in the end zone for the touchback. I think that was a good idea that he waited an extra second, Jay, because had he tried to go at the 1-yard line and trying to carry it out, he could have gotten fumbled because there were 2 defenders racing up to try to hit him. So the ball at the 25-yard line for Antonia with 9:28 remaining in the game. Apache's up 47-10. And here comes Antonian out of the huddle. 2 wideouts to the near left side. Schwellen still quarterbacking with 1 man in the backfield, or actually 2, because Khalil Warfield is now out there, and he's going to be serving as a running back as well. Schwellen calling signal. Schwellen with a high snap. And it's a draw play, and going off right tackle and getting hit very hard at about the 15-yard line for Antonian. That was Gabriel Santillan, and boy, he got nailed.
He lowered the boom. That is a pick and pull collision. Watch this, a great little move right there. But now, boom! That was, who was that? Number 23, Robert Muniz. He's just a sophomore, and he delivers a pick and pull collision right there. Opposing teams have to look out for his collisionness for still another couple of years after this one.
2nd and 9 at the 26-yard line. Schwellen on the run. His pass, the screen pass, incomplete. The intended receiver was Marcus Lozano. A swing pass, a bubble screen at the near left side, but it was a little bit overthrown. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and 8.
Yeah, it looks like they're running quite a few players out there to get some playing time. And again, it's for plenty of reasons. These kids all go out and practice, so they all should at some point get to play. Number 2, if you're looking at a long playoff run, you need as many healthy, experienced players as you can possibly get. And I think this Antonian team has an opportunity to make a deep, deep run in the TAPS playoffs.
Jaden Toscano to the near left. And a draw play again, trying to go off left tackle and getting hit again as he tried to cross the 25 and down to the 26-yard line. It was Santellan again carrying the ball for the third straight time.
Here's the hit again. You'll be able to see it. Adrian Gomez comes in and lays another pick and pull collision there at the end. If you see the cutback, oh, his knee actually was down early, but here comes Adrian Gomez with another big hit. Some of these substitutes are taking advantage of their playing time.
4th and long, and ball's going to be punted to the near side as it went to the midfield stripe, and it goes out of bounds. They say it was at the midfield stripe itself, so the Volunteers will take over 1st and 10 at about the midfield stripe with just under 8 remaining in regulation time. It's been all Antonian. They lead Lee 47-17. Right side, 3 to the far left side. Kyle Killian now in at quarterback. And now going off right tackle on the handoff for Lee. It was Ellis Costello who got it from Killian, but he didn't really get anything as he tried to go off right tackle. Instead, he got nailed, and I think it's no gain on the play. They spotted the line of scrimmage.
Bad snap right out of the box. We've had that happen a couple of times tonight. You'll see on the replay when you get to see the archive that this ball was snapped right at the feet of Kyle Killian, and there wasn't a whole lot he could do. He was actually bailed out by Guastella, who picked that ball up and tried to do something with it, tackled for a loss.
And now look out. Here's a handoff off left tackle, trying to make his way from the 45 and down to the 42-yard line for Lee. That was Ellis Costello again.
Another
we
penalty
do have
flag.
a penalty marker down.
This game has just been absolutely littered with the yellow hankies on the field. Not sure that official was a long ways away from the play, so I wonder if there was some shenanigans going on between the receivers. Personal foul, against the Apaches. So the Lee Volunteers are going to have the benefit of a 15-yard penalty, automatic first down. I think on the play where the ball was snapped at the feet of the Lee quarterback, that Antonian was ticketed for being offsides as well. So that was really only a 1st and 5 play anyway, and now the personal foul is going to move it 15 yards. And now it's 1st and 10 from the 28.
So we can play real cadence.
Killian, the only man in the backfield, empty backfield with wideouts twice to the left side. Killian looking, but hold on, I think we do have another penalty, and it's going to be a false start, and it's going to be, well, the referee just said false start, and I think it's going to be against Lee. I mean, he didn't point toward Lee's direction, but now the fact that he's backpedaling, I think Lee got penalized.
Well, also that they stopped the play.
Yep. 1st and 10 at the 28. So actually it was just a hanky that was nullified, and now Killian taking a snap, throwing deep down to the middle of the field, incomplete. Intended receive at that time, Jeremiah Shelton, and he was covered by one of the secondary for the Antonian Apaches. That was Caleb Castro staying with Shelton that time. So it's going to bring up 2nd and 10 at the 28-yard line of Apache for Lee. Hurry up offense with 3, 1 out to the near right side. They move from left to right. The Volunteers, Killian taking a step. Killian with a slant and pass. That ball is caught at the 35 and getting wrestled back to about the 35. That time, the intended receiver, it was Robert Delgado, but he had no place to go.
And look at, you'll be able to see the replay again tomorrow, but watch the closing speed and then the pick and pull collision right there. Boom!
We've seen some hard hits this 4th quarter already.
You're going to need new parts. That's what Bobby Stotzenberger says. The parts you need the price you can afford. That's pick and pull.
6:29 to go in the game. Killian now throwing up the middle, and that pass is intercepted again by the Apaches, racing upfield from the 45 to the 50-yard line. The man who made the interception, Curran Strode, one of the secondary men. And that time, Killian tried to go to the left flat, but it was Strode who made the interception.
Well, here's Strode right up at the top of the screen, and he just drifts over into the throwing lane, and boom, picked up the receiver on an in pattern and drifted back where he was supposed to be and caught that ball. It took it for about a 20, 25-yard return. Going to have a 1st and 10 starting on their own 47-yard line. They shoved him out of bounds before I thought they did.
Pardon me, Jay. Second interception this half for Antonian. 1st and 10 at the 47-yard line. Handoff off left tackle, trying to stiff arm one defender and trying to go from the 45 to about the 48-yard line. That was Eric Diaz at that time, and looked like, I believe it was Robert Muniz, one of the secondary men and just a sophomore, that applied the hit and the stop.
Under 6 minutes to go now, and a 30-point lead for the Apaches, who have been pretty impressive tonight. Of course, the Lee Volunteers really shooting themselves in the foot tonight with penalties and turnovers.
Appleby to the near left side. Ashburn the slot left, backs to the eye. Schwelen will hand off again. I believe it was Santellan who tried to go up the middle, and it was Eric Diaz, I beg your pardon, carrying the second straight time, and he was stopped at the 48-yard line, so no gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a 3rd and long right now, Jay.
3rd and long, and 5 minutes. We're just about to go under 5 minutes. Really need to go and figure out who your JohnWayne.com player of the game is. You better hope that it matches up with what Stu and I are thinking.
You got a coin toss?
Yeah, $10,000 home makeover on the line.
2 running backs in the backfield along with Schwelen. Handoff to Diaz again, who tries to make his way up the middle and is able to get to the midfield stripe, but he's not going to be even close to a 1st down. That's going to bring up a 4th and 7, and the Apaches want to punt the football, but in a way it's not necessarily bad because, number one, the Apaches are up by 30. There's only 4:28 to go, and like you said, they're trying to eat the clock, as they call killing the clock. Not beat the clock like the old TV show, but eat the clock and try to kill some time.
Yeah, that's exactly right. They're ready for this game to be over. They flexed their muscles, and there's their punt.
Low snap line drive, and it's going to trickle toward the 10-yard line and going inside the 10, and finally pounced on at the 9-yard line, and it was Delgado who pounced it on. So let's take a break in the action with 4:01 remaining in the ball game, and Antonian, they have started so strong and have continued on leadingly 47-17 at Antonian Stadium. Jay and I will be back. This is high school football courtesy of Texas Sports Productions.
Two different products that lower the temperature in your cooling system.
Great for bugs on the front of the car.
You got your wax here, you got your power wax. Generators, pressure washers, lawnmowers, you name it, they got it for it. VP Racing is now offering Antonian unleaded, which is safer for your street cars, safe for your O2 sensors, your catalytic converters, to get an increase in octane boost by pouring straight to the gas tank.
Here at Antonian Stadium, Stu Paul with Jay Riley, just under 4 minutes to go, and that time Lee tried to get off a pass, but incomplete. It'll bring up a 2nd and 10 for the Volunteers in our own 8. 2 wide outs to the near right side, 1 in the slot, 1 wide out, way out to the left. Killian drawing signals, taking the place of William Seabold, who had really been running for his life throughout the entire game. Only 11 seconds on the play clock, so Killian better call for something in a hurry, otherwise he's going to be called for a delay of game. 5 on the play clock. While he takes a step, he's going to run himself to the far side. Killian trying to look for somebody, but still taking himself going upfield, getting across the 10, getting bottled up around the 11-yard line. That's where the line judge said he was down.
Yeah, if you look, there's an Antonian Apache, Marcus Lozano, standing in the end zone with the football. And for a second there, it looked like a strip and score, but the officials had ruled Killian down. Forward progress had been stopped, but the ball was ripped out of his hands and into the end zone. But, yeah, you can see when you get to see the replay, you will see that easily his forward progress was stopped and the play was dead.
3rd and 5 for Lee at their own 13. Killian taking a step, dropping back to throw, throws to the far side. That ball is caught by Jeremiah Shelton, and he caught the ball somewhere along the 25-yard line, picking up 12 yards of the play, and that'll move the change. 12-yard reception by Shelton. That's going to be a first down for Lee.
Now down under 3 minutes. And, great pass. Just had to go down low to catch it. And flags being thrown. It looks like someone jumped early on this play. And likely to cost the Volunteers 5 yards.
And especially after that 12-yard pickup on that reception by Shelton. And again, we talked about before the penalties, but hold on. It's going to be against Antonian.
Exactly. And young man coming out on the field, you got to have your helmet on, son.
Oh, yeah, you got to stay out for one play. So it's going to be a gain of 5. And now Killian faked, and now here's a handoff to the left side, and it's going to be grabbed by Ezekiel Eldridge, who had just scored a touchdown as he makes his way to the 40 and down to the 45-yard line, and good enough for a first down, as now Lee, too little too late, is having its best drive of the game, but unfortunately there's only 2:28 to go. Hurry up offense, and it's going to be Eldridge again, I believe. Eldridge trying to go off left tackle as he makes his way across the 45, but gets only 3 yards down to the 48-yard line of the Volunteers.
Got to remind you one more time as we move pretty close to 2 minutes to go in the game. Get to johnwayne.com. Get your vote in for player of the game. You have to do it before the end of the game. 2 minutes to go.
2nd down and 7 at the 48. And Killian back to throw. Killian trying to find somebody going to the far side. Throws the ball downfield. And the pass looked like it was caught, and it was by Shelton. Good catch by Shelton, and a first down again. That's the 3rd first down on this drive for the Volunteers as they spot the ball at the 32-yard line. A pickup of 16 yards. Another fine catch by Shelton.
Well, that was a really nice pass by Killian on the run as well, right on the far sidelines. Right on target, right on time.
2 men in the backfield. Killian, the left-hand quarterback, throws to the near side, and that ball is caught. And that time the man who caught the ball for Lee, that was Hunter Hebert, who makes his first reception as he was able to get to the right side past the 30 and all the way down to the 26. 4th first down for the Volunteers. I beg your pardon, that is still 2nd down. So it's going to bring up a 2nd down. Killian and Eldridge with the ball. Eldridge trying to go off left tackle as he makes his way to the 20 and down to about the 19-yard line.
Best looking drive of the night easily so far for the
chains again.
Volunteers. Keep moving the chains. That offensive line blowing up some holes for the running backs to run through. Of course, the starters are out for the Apaches.
1st and 10 at the 19-yard line. Handoff again. Eldridge off right tackle. Eldridge now trying to make his way across the 15, and I believe he is brought down at about the 15-yard line. Picking up 4 yards on the play.
Well, it looks like it's going to be a very happy homecoming for the Antonian Apaches tonight. Easily 40 seconds to go now. Go to johnwayne.com. Get your vote in for player of the game. Stu and I'll let you know after we come back. After the end of the game, we'll go to break and then come back and let you know who we have chosen.
Handoff again to Eldridge, but we do see a penalty marker down to 15 as he makes his way from the 10 inside the 10 to the 8, but I do see a flag at the 15.
Yeah, there's one on the other side of the field too.
Let's see what the call will be here. And again,
I'm of the opinion if it's not malicious, keep your flag in your pocket. There's 27 seconds to go in a 30-point game.
So I'm thinking, you want to do a coin toss or you want to do odds and evens?
Rock, paper, scissors. Let's do that.
Oh, my goodness. It's going to be tough. A lot of contributions by Antonian. They lead 47-17. We only have 27 seconds remaining. 2nd and 6 on the 5-yard line.
Once again, if your name is Mariano
Well,
Williams,
Warfield, Felix, Armstrong, Fertitta,
they've all
all of
deserved
them
it,
belong in the conversation for sure.
but only one winner.
Yep, only one can we choose, and I think Stu has an idea for one, and I have one for another, so when we go to commercial break, we're going to arm wrestle for it.
His handoff off left tackle going to the 5, going to the 1, and in for the touchdown that time, number 32 for Lee, and that was Ellis Castella, who goes off his own left tackle with 17 seconds remaining. The Volunteers get on the board but trail 47-23.
Yeah, when you see this replay, you watch the hole that opens up on the left side of the offensive line, and just a nice job by Castella following the blocking. Maybe a little hold there. But as you have heard many times, there's holding on every play. Sometimes it gets seen and sometimes it doesn't.
Rodriguez in for the extra point try. Martinez will hold the snap, ball down. Kick is up, and the kick is good. So Castillo with a touchdown, and then the extra point is good. We only have 17 seconds remaining in this fourth quarter. Actually, we can just keep it right here with the Apaches up 47-23. Don't forget, folks, vote for the John Wayne Player of the Game. Go vote at www.johnwayne.com.
Because here in just a couple minutes, you won't be able to. So go get her done. You're watching Antonian Apache football presented by the Lind Company on TexasSportsProductions.com.
The Mission Open Air Market. It's been a long time since the Mission Drive-In days, and we've grown to over 60 acres of the biggest bargains in Texas. Remember, that's every Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday, and I'll see you here.
17 seconds remaining. Stu Paul along with Jay Riley from Antonian Stadium. Antonian with a 47-23 lead. And of course, Chance Felix setting in the tone with a couple of touchdowns early on, a 47-13. One of the candidates for the John Wayne Player of the Game, but we won't say anything until afterwards. So Rodriguez will kick off on his own 40-yard line. One man back deep, but it's going to be a very short kick, and the ball is loosed and pounced on. And we only have 17 seconds remaining. It looks like I think Antonio was able to cough it up. So they're just going to do is go into victory formation and just kill it off, and they'll go to 3-0, while the Lee Volunteers will drop to 1-2 there, Jay.
Well, looks like the officials are still having a conversation in the middle of the field. And they're going to put the ball down at the 44-yard line. And the Lee Volunteers are running their offense back out on the field.
Yeah, I thought for a minute that Antonio would get into victory formation. 17 seconds to go. Killian back to throw. Throws to the far side. That ball is incomplete. A very high pass. It was intended that time for Timothy Martinez, one of the wideouts. So 13 seconds remaining. It'll bring up a 2nd and 10 at the 44-yard line. The only other bad news is that 4 seconds have been killed off the clock. So instead of 17, it's down to 13. Got to keep an eye on the clock. You know that, Jay.
Yeah, extending the opportunity to go vote for John Wayne Player of the Game at johnwayne.com. Stu, I know who I'm going to pick. Actually, I don't. I just changed my mind again.
It's a toss-up, but I think I got an idea. But it's going to be a tough one because a lot of guys deserve it. 13 seconds to go, 2nd and 10 at the 44-yard line of the Volunteers. Killian in a shotgun, 3 wideouts to the left side. Killian dropping back to throw with 12 seconds to go. Killian throwing down deep to the right side, and that ball is incomplete. the intended receiver that time, and he had been the intended receiver in the previous play, Timothy Martinez. 6 seconds to go, and on the coverage that time for the Antonian Apaches, Caleb Castro, who's really done a good job staying with the receivers that he's been assigned to cover in this game tonight.
Yeah, it's been one of those nights for the Lee Volunteers.
6 seconds to go. 2 men to the far left, 1 to the near right side. Killian waiting for the snap. 5 seconds to go. Throw it to the far side. That ball is caught and trying to spin over the 20, 35-yard line, but brought down at the 30 as time runs out. And that, by the way, was Ellis Casella, as this ball game comes to an end with the Antonian Apaches being victorious, winning tonight over the Volunteers of Lee by a score of 47-23. And you can see the handshakes at the midfield stripe. What a game, and stay tuned. We have the John Wayne Player of the Game coming up. I'm still thinking about it. I do have an inkling of who it is, but and we'll discuss about it, Jay, so we'll see what happens, but we will pick a winner indeed.
Sounds awesome. We'll be right back after this. You're watching and listening to Antonian Apache football, presented by John Lynn Company on TexasSportsProductions.com.
Do you know what optimism can do? Whatever it wants. We've seen it unlock resilience that makes the impossible inevitable, inspire generosity to put families back on their feet, and give Davids courage to throw rocks at Goliaths. At Frost, we believe optimism can change lives emotionally, physically, and financially. And with your help, we're going to prove it.
Our John Wayne Player of the Week. John Wayne, player of the week.
Hello, I'm Dr. Kellum with KellumConnectMD.com. How can I make you feel better today?
If your goal is to make life less hectic, then KellumConnectMD.com is for you. For those non-emergency ailments, log on to KellumConnectMD.com and see a licensed medical professional from your home or office. No driving, no waiting rooms. With KellumConnectMD.com, there's no need to miss work or school or spend hours at a minor emergency clinic. Get medical care online and on time at KellumConnectMD.com.
Hi folks, Joel Dolly here with the Mission Open Air Market. Our 2-year expansion plan's over. The Mission Open Air Market has added acres and acres of free parking and the best bargains in all of Texas. Remember, that's the Mission Open Air Market, open every Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'll see you here.
The Lind Company of San Antonio is about creating an amazing living experience for their residents, an experience that isn't perfectly described with words, but is felt the minute you walk through their doors. They strive to maintain an environment where memories are built and life happens. Their team applies advanced education and real-world experience to provide excellent real estate services in acquisitions, asset management, development, and investment. Learn more at lynd.com. Lind, your home, our passion.
Lind Company is proud to host the Traveling Wall as they dedicate their Vietnam War Museum. The public is invited to visit a traveling version of the Vietnam Veterans War Memorial that will serve as a backdrop for the opening of the new Vietnam War Museum in Chavano Park and is available for viewing 24/7 from October 10th through the 13th. Several speakers, including 2 retired generals, will honor the museum's dedication on Friday, October 11th at 4:45. Please join us at Lind's new headquarters at 4001 Pond Hill Road in Chavano Park.
All right. Back here at Antonian Stadium where the Apaches defeat Lee 47-23, the John Wayne Player of the Game. And you can see in number 3, and I really discussed it during the break, he set the tone early on. Chance Felix, as you see, he is number 3, or you will see also tomorrow or Saturday on the video. 47-yard run early on, and then a 13-yarder, setting the tone early. Congratulations to him. 8 carries for 91 yards, 2 touchdowns and 2 receptions as well for 17 yards. What a game for Chance Felix. And again, it was a toss-up, but that 47-yard run was incredible because immediately right after that touchdown, it definitely set the wins out of the sails of a Lee Volunteer team who was never able to get on track at all tonight.
Yeah, Danny Closa, I know Danny pretty well. I know he's going to be disappointed in the performance, especially the turnovers and number of penalties that the Lee Volunteers had. And now they've got a week to get ready for some district action starting next week. So he knows what his ball club is. I think that he's got to be proud of Seabolt in the job that he did, the strength and the tenacity of Seabolt. But he's got to go back to the drawing board and fix the stuff that's fixable, and that's penalties and turnovers. Now, for the Apaches, they had a great night tonight. I think that there's still some coachable moments. I think they had some penalties that Coach Van Fischak is going to want to get cleaned up. A couple of fumbles as well, a couple of turnovers. But all in all, I think he's very happy with where his team is right now.
Oh, no doubt about it. I mean, they were dominant, but even despite the fact that they were assessed those penalties, they certainly kept their poise. They kept to their game plan. They not only came up with some right plays, mixing up the running attack along with the offense, but I really felt that they did a pretty good job as far as their secondary and linebacking unit with a couple of interceptions, pressuring Seabolt, pressuring Killian later on, resulting in a couple of touchdowns on passes that were underthrown, but at the same time, a good job by the defensive unit reading those passes and were able to cut in front of the receivers, pick you off those passes.
Well, it is a very successful homecoming night here for the Antonian Apaches. A nice big 47-23 win over the Lee Volunteers. They spread the wealth. Several different players played, had big numbers and big impacts. Obviously, it takes 22-plus players to make a football team work. Armstrong had a big night. Felix had a big night. Warfield had a big night. And Fertitta had a big night. So Van Fischak will take his team and go back to practice next week. We'll be back here again next Friday. I believe we're back next Friday. I got to check the schedule, but keep it here on TexasSportsProductions.com for Antonian Apache football live. Now that the UIL teams are no longer on the schedule and it's private school on private school, we will be doing live video on Friday nights. Another thing, tomorrow at 6:30, join us at KCWX TV2 for South Texas High School football game day with Gabe Fodius and Sean Morris. That's a great show. It's a pregame show with some great content leading into our 7 o'clock high school football showcase. And tomorrow's game matchup is the MacArthur Brahmas hosting the Bernie Champion Chargers. MacArthur looking to avenge a big loss last year at the hands of the Bernie Champion Chargers. But it's going to be a lot of fun. KCWX TV2, Spectrum Channel 4 for high school football showcase at 7, 6:30 for South Texas High School football game day. Stu, it's been an absolute pleasure working with you again, bud.
Felix Mutual, Jay, thank you very much.
I'd like to thank our crew, Kevin Evans, technical director, Eric Enriquez as the broadcast crew, our crew chief, and just a wonderful job done by our guys tonight. Got to mention Jay Will on cameras. Yeah, I promote next week. You can put it up, but just a wonderful crew. And Stu, working with you, I think the Antonian Apache folks are going to be in good hands when I leave and go out of town with UTSA like next weekend. Well, I'm heading up to Denton, but they'll be in good hands with you and whoever they put in here as a color guy.
Appreciate it. Always wishing you and definitely Andy Everett the best. You guys do a great job on that crew as well. And I look forward to it as far as down the road, depending on your schedule. And your passion of football is definitely second to none. And thanks again. I enjoyed working with you too, bud.
Stu, thank you. And special thank you to the Lynn Company. We really appreciate it. All right, that'll do it here from Antonian Apache Stadium. Good night, folks. We'll see you next week.